Hypocrisy.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Lawsplaining the Interwebs. I am your host, Nick Rekieta of Rekieta Law, small law firm in central Minnesota. Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going today? I am happy to be here. Happy to have you guys all here. If you're the on-time crew on this show, I think you're the early crew by default, right? Like that's how that works. Is that a real thing? I think that's a real thing. Why did you delete my comments on video? I know your game, Jay is bored. I know your game. You're trying to make me mad, but you can't. You can't do it. I'm in a good mood, and you can't ruin it. No matter how much you try, no matter how many things you say, you can't do it. Oh my goodness. So what's going on today, guys? How's life treating you? How was your 4th of July's? I hope they were great. I hope they were full of hot dogs and meat buns and whatever you Americans eat. I, of course, as an American, ate, what did I eat? I was out no, wait, the 4th was yesterday. Saturday was my busy day. We do the 4th of July kind of on the 3rd, because there's a small town near me. There's a small town near us that has their 4th of July stuff on the 3rd, and it's a lot less crowded than the small town that I'm in which the 4th of July stuff in my town, in Spicer, is very, very, very busy. Exceedingly busy, annoyingly busy. It's too small of a town for how big the stupid parade and all that stuff is. So we stay far away from that. So we go down to a different place on the 3rd of July, and I'll briefly run down my day. So on the 2nd of July, I did a show. That was Friday. And I did not, it was a shorter show. We had Camelot 331 on. If you remember, he was the guy kind of dropping a whole bunch of hot goss on GameStop. Long before the Game Stonks thing, he was talking about GameStop and their corporate behavior. He came on. It had been a while since I had him on the show. We just had a nice chill stream for a couple hours, ended kind of early, and then I went to bed. Sort of. I didn't actually go to bed because you can't just turn it off, right? Like I can't just decide I'm tired and go to sleep. But I did a couple things, went to bed, and then that was around 4:30 in the morning. Then at 6:30 in the morning, Lady Rackets wakes me up so we can go to this all day thing, and it opens up with like a 1.5 mile walk that you do with your family. And then there's a bunch of races for the kids to do because the town is racist or whatever. And then you're just there in town in the heat because it was hot for the whole day. And then there's fireworks at, there's little things going on throughout the day, but there's fireworks at 10 o'clock. And then you finally get to go home around 11. It's coming back. It's coming back. I love the lagginess, but see, you can't even make me mad. I'm not even going to be mad today about the lag. I'm not going to be mad about anything. I'm going to be the happiest person on the planet. Because what's the point in being upset with anything? So anyway, if you missed that, yeah. After the races for the kids, there's various events. Like there They had a bunch of inflatable bouncy things for kids to bounce on. Because what you want to do is when it's like 100 degrees out, is you want to put some inflatable rubber things out to absorb all of that heat and transfer it directly into the skin of children. So there's that, and the parents get to sit around and be warm in like just a tent, which is great. But it was actually really fun. Spent a lot of time. It was an exhausting day. So then on the 4th, I got to take the kids over to the parents' place and hang out. And I made a tomahawk ribeye for the 4th. One of those big, it's like a 2.5 pound ribeye with the big bones sticking out. I did a nice sous vide cook on it and then torched it off at the end. It was good. Good stuff. Good stuff. No, Colostro, that doesn't make me mad at all. Nope. So that was July 4th. It was a good time. It was a good time. Got to spend a lot of time with various family members over the 2-day thing. So I hope you guys had a great time as well. Of course, the predictable REEEing about the holiday celebrating American independence from England. The predictable REEEing about that occurred all over Twitter with very serious, thoughtful dialogue about how troubled and broken America is and how not everybody's really free or something, somehow figuring out that some race is less free than others, which is one of the most ludicrous things I can imagine. But yeah, that stuff was all to be expected. And it came up and it came and occurred in exactly the way everybody thought it would. Everybody thought it would. So, not even that stuff really made me mad. Made me laugh a bit. We might look at some things. I made a 4th of July post because, I don't know. I didn't have anything else to really say on 4th of July. I wasn't going to do a show or anything like that, so I just decided to put up a tweet, and it's gotten some interesting responses from a very, very desperate attention whore. And so I don't know if I want to pull it up because it's kind of embarrassing for them, but also I don't know if they should get the attention. Because that's what they desperately crave, is attention. But anyway, so that was it was good. It was good. I, as you may know, I hope you know. If you don't know, let me tell you now. Am heading to Anime Matsuri this week. This week is Anime Matsuri, which means Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, there will likely not really be a show. There may be some random things going on, but I will be down in Houston enjoying the festivities at Anime Matsuri. I certainly will not have scheduled shows because whenever I've tried to do that at a convention, I've failed miserably at upholding those schedules. It doesn't work. I'm hanging out with people. I'm having drinks. I'm just chilling. Come stream at your office? What, on Thursday? That would be fun. Just come blow the doors off your office. Oh. So yeah, there will not be much in the way of streams this week. I'm going to try and get a couple videos ready to release over the course of the week. I'm going to I'll try and do some recorded stuff there as well, just to kind of give people, like little glimpses of anime Matsuri, or whatever. We'll try something. There will be content this week, but the live streams are going to be not regular, if that makes sense. So I don't know how I'll ever recover, but that's the idea. I have a panel at Anime Matsuri. I believe it is Saturday at 3 p.m. I do not know if Matsuri is streaming the panel, but it is very, very possible that they will. They streamed part of it last year. They had some technical difficulties setting it up, but that'll likely be on the Matsuri channel page. If it is, I'll try and get a tweet out or something about it. But, you know, I don't know. I don't know. Oh, yeah. I forgot to mention, I have turned on something special. I have turned on subscriber-only chat. It requires a 1 minute of being subscribed to the channel. And I did it for two reasons. One, I think it will minimize the bot spam that comes in. I think it will lower that down, which is one goal. The other goal is quite simply just to make sure that people realize when they've been unsubscribed from the channel. So trying it out, it's like, yeah. Most of you shouldn't have any trouble with that at all, because the overwhelming majority of people who watch this show are subscribed. So I probably won't turn it on for like special live stream events for like trials and stuff like that. But for the nightly show, I'm going to have it on just so people like are reminded, because YouTube does this fun thing where it just removes subscribers. Poop, 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 poop. And sometimes it grabs people who are active watchers. What about new viewers who want to engage? Channel growth not affected. Anybody can watch. It's literally only to type a comment in the chat. You have to be subscribed for 1 minute. I don't think that's that big of a deal. So, but maybe it is. I don't know. If it's terrible, I guess I'll turn it off. They could always subscribe for 1 minute chat and then unsubscribe. I mean, if that's what they want to do, that's okay. But you know, as has been a consistent theme for the past really year now, probably longer, YouTube has been consistently under notifying on the channel, and in particular on the live streams, and that's just part of it. That's just part of it. It's a great fun thing to deal with. And there's not much I can do about it. So again, not going to be mad. Not going to be mad. So we'll see. We'll see. Let's see. What got your preview video demonetized? So yeah. The re-record, I did I'll talk about that real quick. Oh, are you trying to make me mad? Ha ha, caught you. I'll talk about this happily. I did a video today on the Maricopa election audit. It was a short video, just a very brief thing. I was laughing because Salon.com republished an article from Raw Story, which I believe is owned by Salon, and that is that the Maricopa County election audit is coming off the rails because of a Me Too allegation against an unnamed employee. Completely unnamed. Like, nobody knows who the person is. There's just some allegations from unnamed women against an unnamed person. And so that apparently is going to defeat the audit in Arizona. or whatever, according to this raw story. And so I did just a silly video about how like how scared they must be of this audit, that because when you can't get something to go away, what do? You gotta Me Too it, right? Like you just listen, it groped my vagina. Like you gotta drop the Me Too allegation. That's your effort. That's what you got. That's where they've gone with this thing. It's like my areolas were brushed by the back of its hand viciously. So who knows? The allegations are really, really unspecific. It's that some guy, there was unwanted touching. Now, unwanted touching is something that we've kind of hinted at in covering some of this other Me Too stuff. Unwanted touching sounds really creepy, right? Like, oh God, unwanted touching. If you think about that combination of words, it's gross. But literally, someone puts their hand on your shoulder and you don't want to be touched, that is an unwanted touch. It does not mean that they slipped their hands down the back of your pants and rubbed your sphincter. Like, that is not what happened. They just put a hand on a shoulder. A lot of people will reach out and touch someone on the shoulder or back to talk to them. Hey, how's it going? Blah, blah, blah. They did not make a more specific allegation. So we don't know what the scope of the unwanted touching was, but apparently there's unwanted touching. If you're going to make an allegation in that way with hypervagary, I'm going to assume that the allegation is weak. Just the way that's how I'm going to do it. I'm sorry. I feel like if there was groping, unwanted groping of a breast or a buttock, for example, that would be stated, right? Like, that's where my brain goes. Unwanted touching of sensitive areas, something like that. No indication of that. The other things that this guy has allegedly done, and again, don't even know who it is. Demanded, quote unquote, demanded dates from women who he found attractive. And when they turned him down, he insulted them, which only tells me this guy is hilarious. Like, what? Why? So, you must date me. I am the Chad. And then they're like, no. It's like, well, you were fat anyways. Like, okay. Like, this, I'm not making this up. That's the allegations from the article, okay? So I go through the article pretty quick. I don't do any of the funny bits or funny jokes. I briefly explain that unwanted touching could be as simple as just a touch on the shoulder or the back or something like that. That's about it. And then I had the article. It was demonetized for graphic depictions of activity that may make people uncomfortable. And I'm like, but there were no descriptions or depictions or anything of any activity like that. There was literally nothing. It was the most basic, straightforward video that I could think of. So then I re-recorded it and I uploaded a different version that even mitigated what was already in there. I even just toned that down a bit. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll talk about harassment in a more vague sense. I won't mention specific touching or whatever. And uploaded that thing, demonetized. Again, these are confirmed by manual review, demonetized. And I'm like, what the hell? So then I took that one down and I re-uploaded a new thing with no article at all and just me talking about it in kind of a very vague sense. And that one took about 6 hours to get approved by YouTube. So it will go up tomorrow at 10 a.m. So that's great. That's great. I don't know. It was such a silly thing. And it didn't make any sense because It's like it wasn't about the election content. That's the other thing. It had nothing to do with the election or the audit. Presumably, the reasons they, oh no, the reason they alleged had to do with depictions of, like, you know, sexual encounters, which was just crazy. Which is just crazy. So, it was, you know, there's nothing spicy. The reason I didn't, like, just upload it to Odyssey or Locals is because there's nothing spicy in the original video either. There's like, and the all three of the videos are functionally identical. The third one, I just removed the article. Now, the article itself had sexual harassment in the title, which that alone could have been enough. Like, that might have done it. I don't know. But my Chauvin video the other day was demonetized for literally 1 second of me scrolling through an article, and it had a picture of the cops on Floyd from so far away that you couldn't even see Floyd at all. And they determined that literal 1 second was enough to completely demonetize the video. So, you know, I don't know. I don't know. It was crazy. It was crazy. So, yeah. Anyway, there's a very special super chat. There's a very special super chat from Bob Rekieta, who is stuck at 13 followers on GETTR. Well, Dad, good luck. Good luck growing your account on GETTR. I don't know. I have 10, so I'm catching up to you. I'm catching up to you on my GETTR account. So, good luck with that one. Okay, let me check out some of these chats that are here waiting, and then we're gonna get into this stuff. Today, I've got a video that someone sent me of a cop doing a traffic stop, and it's great. It's a great video. Cop doing a state trooper doing a traffic stop. It's both great and it's also completely depressing near the end of the video, which we'll see that. So we're gonna watch that. I also got a list. It's apparently Disability Pride Month. I guess that's the July is Disabled Pride Month or whatever, and someone has created a list of ableist language. So I think it's really important that we go through and read the list of ableist language and learn what words we're supposed to use the most in July. So, we got to do that. You got to expand your lexicon. So we're going to do that as well. And then, you know, there's other stuff to talk about too. Those are the first things. And then we'll see what happens there. And then, I will be doing a movie stream tonight. Tonight is a movie stream, game stream tomorrow. And, I've picked out I've got a bunch of good movies, so we'll figure out what to do. So that's the agenda. Okay. Now, on to the chats. Le chat. NGE fan 76 says, one more day of work, then I'll be flying down to Texas for Matsuri, hoping to see everyone down there. Yes, please do come find me at Matsuri, by the way. Please come find me at Matsuri, hang out, say hi. If you find me after the show, we can grab a drink or whatever. It'll be a good time. So looking forward to seeing you there, NGE fan. Come introduce yourself, please. Andrew Haskins says, hey, Nick, lost my job last week. Sucks. But I've been able to make YouTube videos on the occult stuff I want to talk about. Don't be late or gay tonight. Well, cool, man. I'm glad that you are talking about the occult. I think. Should I be glad about that? RZEQDW says, once again, social drama has exploded in my face and I've lost a bunch of recent friends. Looking forward to meeting up on Thursday and hanging out with people who are real friends instead of just clicky, catty alcoholics. No, don't be clicky, catty alcoholics. Oh, we've got another special super chat. My dad has learned exactly how to get grifted. Because if you see what I did there, he sent the earlier super chat. I didn't say what his GETTR handle was. I did not say it. I didn't say it at all. And then now he has been grifted into a subsequent super chat for me to say his GETTR handle. His GETTR handle is Real Mike Pence. So, okay. There you go. You can go follow if you want. You can go follow Real Mike Pence on Twitter or on GETTR, and that is, that's on you. Internet Shopping says, Nick, your mods suck. Yeah, they're mods. They're mods. Of course they do. I can't mod my dad. That would be terrible. He's had control over me for far too long. Okay. Digitalis says, it's my birthday. Hey, happy birthday, man. So a question, do you demand your French foodists have balls even though Frenchmen don't? Yes. Yeah. Look, somewhere the line's got to be drawn and the French have to be fixed, but not in that way. And this is where it is. This is where it is. Blaine20 says, deep thoughts. If you, Nick, were in charge of designing the New World Order citizenship test, would Ron qualify for citizenship? No. Next question. Why would I allow rampant I don't even know the word. Cuckoldry into the New World Order? No. Can't do it. Sorry. Also, yeah. Spouse abusers, not high on the list. Not high on the list of people who get in. Am I on GETTR now, Nikki? Yes, I am, actually. I think I'm on GETTR as Rekieta Media. Is that what it is? Here. Yeah, I'm Rekieta Media on GETTR because apparently maybe there's a chance of mirroring Twitter content onto GETTR or something. But this is actually me. I'll pull up my profile. Here we go. There it is, at Rekieta Media on GETTR. 24 followers. So and I've got my name on Fireman Steve's forehead there. That's the real deal profile, baby. So that's it. That's it. All right. Back to the chats. Bad Vibe says, let's all give thanks that Nick's ego isn't as big as his nose. I guess that's good. Oh, don't expect a lot of GETTR content, by the way. Like, oh, geez. I hate what has been done here. I'm not going to be every stupid social media post or social media site that gets added for me to follow and do stuff on is one more thing I have to do. I don't have time to do the things that I already do. So, like, I hate it. I don't actually want a bunch of Twitter alternatives and stuff like that. Like, if you're going to make a Twitter alternative, have it be the Twitter alternative, get big, do that. That's great. Until then, I'm sorry, but I get far more interaction on Twitter than on any other site. No matter what I've ever tried, it's been that way forever. I don't like Twitter. I would love an alternative, but I cannot sit and post to 17 different sites with different rules and different things. It just doesn't work. And I can't respond to messages and comments on all of them. It would take all day. It would take all day. So, it's, you know, it is what it is. And I love that expression because it's a happy day. Random Blaze says, I know how to make Rekieta Law mad. One of your kids is going to marry someone like Ronnie Soye. Nope, because my kids will all have two parents who love them rather than parents who tried to throw them in the garbage. Matthew Harder says, Nick says, you can't even make me mad. His chat, we must secure the existence of our foreskins and a Fuda for foreskin children. Okay. Okay. Eclipse Warlord says, please raise a glass to my grandmother. She passed away on Independence Day. F liver cancer. Chose her day well, though, going out with a bang. Now we celebrate her life every 4th, an annual family get-together. To your grandmother, Eclipse Warlord. May she rest in eternal peace. Loric Project says, hey, Nick, hope your 4th was good. I drank so much that I was still drunk until noon today. Oh, God. That sounds horrible. Horrible. Why would you do that? Oh, yeah. People get a little bit of a wrong impression about me. They think like I want to, be drunk. I really don't. I prefer not to be intoxicated. A little buzz is fine here and there. Little buzz. I really just enjoy the different flavors of whiskey, and yeah. So the whole like getting hammered thing, and not a big fan of it. Not a big fan. Okay, finally, the Sultan of Zanzibar says, hey, follow Nick on Twitter, on Facebook, on GETTR, on Blitzen. Oh, wait, that last one should have been Odyssey. Exactly. Everything is a pain. Everything's a pain. All right. Okay. So there we go. Yes. What should we start with? Let's start with, what is this? Don't need that. Oh, this is an interesting article. We'll start with this article and then go into the cop pullover thing. Someone also sent me this article. I don't remember who. Oh, Loric Project says, I usually don't like getting drunk either, but a friend challenged me and I can't let a challenge go unanswered. Lane 20 says, use Linktree. There's a Linktree clone or whatever that has like a one-time pay forever sort of deal. I'm probably going to set something like that up. But yeah, no, I get it, Loric Project. Whenever anybody challenges me to a drinking contest, I welcome them to win. They can do it. I'll drink with them, but I would usually prefer if they get a victory on that one. All right, so here we go. Former police officer charged after Capitol insurrection disputes calls for re-arrest. This is an interesting story. So this is a guy who was arrested after the Capitol insurrection and charged and then released on bail, right? He's out on bail. He's out on his release conditions. And now they're saying he violated his release conditions and needs to be rearrested. And he is disputing the call for that rearresting. He's saying, I do not need to go back to jail. I didn't do anything wrong. Bob Rekieta says 100 followers and I'll be on the show. So apparently if you get real Mike Pence up to 100 followers, he'll come on the show. I thought you had already agreed to come on the show. But now you're maybe, did I learn grifting from my dad? Is that what happened? Is that what happened? Oh, Gokanaru says, I don't enjoy getting drunk. I just like the flavor of whiskey. Then spit it out, you tard. That is ableist language. That is ableist language. And, no, but listen, whiskeys have different flavors after you swallow them. Your breath changes. Everything about it changes. It's the whole experience. You followed my dad just to stop the begging. But every time he does it, I get more money. This is a good deal for me. Andrew War Snowboard says, you don't need to worry about poorly cut Subway bread if you order a flatbread sandwich. Flatbreads at Subway have more calories than just their regular bread, believe it or not. So there you go. Also, I need to know how to claim my badge from Matsuri because I want them to let me in. Less than 72-hour hype. I don't know how you do it other than when you get there, there's a table that you walk up to and you get your badge there. I don't know if there's a different way to do it. I don't know if there's an alternative, but I know they have badges at the door that you get. And usually, you know, you've signed up for your badge. You go up, they've got it, you know, whatever package you bought, they've got it by name, and they'll pull you out, pull out your thing that way. Yeah, just so we're clear, there was a gap in there where they didn't have those flatbreads at Subway. They didn't have the flatbreads at Subway. The only reason I mentioned the calorie thing is they pitch their flatbread as like a healthier option, but it has more carbs and calories than just regular white bread, which is silly. Not silly in general, but silly that that their healthier option is actually like the two opposite things that most people who are concerned with bread consumption are worrying themselves about, right? Like if you're like, oh, I'm not going to eat bread, it's because either you've got a gluten issue or you don't want carbs or you don't want calories. So it's like, well, I have this flatbread. It's got more carbs and calories, but it's better. I guess. Yeah. But no, just one, in general, don't eat Subway. But if you do eat Subway, silently seethe in your booth, staring out the window at the traffic going by, knowing that at some time in the past, they would have done the U-cut, the V-gouge, whatever you want to call it, without you even asking for it. And now they can barely cut the bread just in half. So there you go. That's what you should do. If you're ever at a Subway, that should be your goal, is to sit there and stare out the window, you know, repressing the rage and anger behind your eyes, behind a blank, dead stare as you chew through a mediocre sandwich. All right, back to this story. Oh, yes. And by the way, I know it wasn't an insurrection. That's just what the headline said. It was a lot of things. There's a lot of things. An insurrection doesn't really count as one of them, in my opinion. All right, so this is from Roanoke, Virginia. Wait, I thought Roanoke was gone. Or did they say they were going to Roanoke? Don't remember. Was Roanoke the lost colony, or was Roanoke where the colony went? All right. A former Rocky Mount police officer indicted on charges related to the January 66th attack on the Capitol has responded to a prosecutor's call for his rearrest. Last week, new documents. I need to do this so I can read this easier. Here we go. I want to look at you guys, not off to the side. It was the lost one? Okay. Everything I learned about Roanoke, I learned from American Horror Story. So I think I got the accurate history. Yeah, they went to Croatoan. That's right. Thank you. I love how it's like the great mystery of the lost people of Roanoke. It's like it's not a mystery. They wrote down where they went, and then like they went there. They just went there. Okay. Last week, new documents filed in the U.S. District Court in Washington, D.C. revealed the results of an FBI search of the home of Thomas Robertson. According to the FBI, agents reported finding a loaded M4 rifle, ammunition, and a partially assembled pipe bomb. Sounds very serious, doesn't it? Sounds very serious. While investigating his alleged involvement in the Capitol attack, FBI agents also said they found evidence Robertson had been buying and selling guns online. Prosecutors claim Robertson violated the conditions of his release. They made a motion for the court to issue a warrant for his arrest, quote, for substantial violations of the terms of his pretrial release and to revoke his pretrial release order and detain him pending trial. Prosecutors went on to write in the document, the defendant's possession of an explosive device and firearms, coupled with his extreme rhetoric advocating for violence, indicating no remorse, illustrate that the pending charges are unlikely to serve as a deterrent to future violence. For those reasons, the defendant should be detained. Now, of course, this sounds, the way it's written, sounds more egregious than it is. We get to hear, luckily, in this article, we get to actually hear the defendant's explanation for what's going on. Now, just so you are aware, typically, if you are under an indictment, especially a federal indictment that probably involves a felony, your gun rights are going to be abridged for the duration. They're going to be removed pending the outcome of your case. If you win your case, you'll oftentimes have your gun rights restored. If you do not win your case, it is a felony and you will not have them restored. Not immediately, maybe not ever. So this is the reason why his possession of an M4 would be a big deal, or a partially assembled pipe bomb. But it would be interesting if there was like, because the pipe bomb sounds like that sounds a little much, right? But it'd be interesting if there was a actual explanation for it, wouldn't it be? Wouldn't there be? All right. Since then, Robertson and his attorney have responded in a new document. Robertson and attorney Mark Collins claim the government has not obtained any new information that supports detaining the defendant now. The document goes on to outline Robertson's military service and his work as a police officer. The response claims Robertson did not possess any guns or destructive devices, making the argument that ordering guns on the internet does not equate to possession. And under basically every state law, that's true. You aren't in possession of something that you're not in possession of. Merely ordering them online does not put you in possession of the gun. To be in possession of the gun, you have to have some level of physical control over the gun in most states. Most states, possession requires immediate physical control, the ability to prevent other people from having control over the thing. So allegedly, he did not receive the guns that were ordered. If he was buying and selling guns on the internet, Maybe he was facilitating trades. I don't know exactly how that works, but we'll see. They also say the gun found in his home during the recent search actually belonged to Robertson's son, whom they said knew his father would be out of the home most of the day. So he wasn't there. He wasn't there. The rifle was there. He was not in possession of that rifle. Especially if you can credibly allege that someone else is in possession of that rifle. Robertson, his attorney, went on to say the semi-assembled pipe bomb cannot be classified as a destructive device, as they claim it was not active and used as a prop for teaching law enforcement students. So, there you go. There's their explanation. Was there any explosive material with it? I'm guessing there must not have been. But notice the way they phrase it, right? A non-functional pipe bomb device that's used for instructional material looks like a semi-assembled pipe bomb, because it is. If there's no explosive material along with it, though, it's not a very useful semi-assembled pipe bomb. They also argue the device was present during the FBI's initial search of the home in January. Amidst other arguments against the motion, Robertson and Rollins say the defendant is not a member of any organization such as the Proud Boys. He's a proud veteran and antique gun lover, saying the guns he allegedly purchased but did not possess were antique guns from the World War II era. All right, so let's see what we've got. I want to see the firearm or destructive device argument, so here we go. Government states that he ordered guns on the internet. Footnote, although the guns do not meet the definition of antique guns pursuant to 26 U.S.C. 5845, they are nearly all over 50 years old, World War II era guns. The Finnish Mosin Nagants were made in 1939. All the M1 carbine were made in 1942 or 1943. Ordering guns does not equate to possession. The government must offer sufficient evidence that he could exercise control over it. Here, the government does not allege that Mr. Robertson possessed the ordered guns at his residence. The government's motion states that the FBI is still investigating whether the items were shipped to Robertson's home. Government does not allege in its motion that any of these weapons were found at his home on June 29th, 2021. So, they've got a problem. They see an internet order history, however they got it, that he ordered guns. What they can't prove is that he ever had them. And while it may seem like if you order guns, they're probably going to show up and you're probably going to be in possession of it, they can't prove it with their current evidence. And if you can't prove it, then there's nothing you can do. All right, next. No firearms that belonged to him. See, on June 29th, Mr. Robertson was required to appear before his pretrial case manager and left his home. Mr. Robertson's son, who 2 days prior was honorably discharged from the U.S. Army, was at the home when law enforcement arrived, was retrieving ammunition to shoot later in the day. His son heard the dogs barking, put the rifle on the bed, and approached the FBI agents. Mr. Robertson's son, a licensed gun owner, was aware that his father could not possess firearms and knew his father would be gone most of the day. Law enforcement began searching Mr. Robertson's home and disconnected all of his security cameras in the garage. Oh, that's nice of them. This is nice of them. Go ahead and just disconnect his security cameras. Just why? Why would you do that? Mr. Robertson's son is willing to submit under oath that the rifle belonged to him. They didn't want people to watch the search. That's why they disconnected the security cameras. They don't want people to watch the search. That, to me, that type of stuff, that should throw the case out. That should throw the case out. Why would you disconnect my cameras? I have every right to be secure in my home. And that security involves my monitoring of your activity in it. The search of defendant's home did not contain a destructive device. Okay, 26 USC 5845F states the term destructive shall not include any device which is either not designed nor redesigned for use as a weapon, any device, although originally designed for use as a weapon, which is redesigned for use as a line-throwing, safety, or similar device, surplus ordnance sold, loaned, or gifted by the Secretary of the Army, pursuant to the provision of Section 7684-2, 7685, or 7686 of Title 10, USC, or any other device which the Secretary finds is not likely to be used as a weapon, or as an antique, or as a rifle which the owner intends to use solely for sporting purposes. According to the government, agents found a partially assembled pipe bomb on the property inside a box with the words "booby trap." However, the government failed to state that the box had additional language on it, specifically the additional words "alert kit, props, and booby trap sims." Under information belief, the word sims stands for simulation. Furthermore, the partially assembled pipe found inside the box is not a destructive device, as this device is used to teach students safety in law enforcement as part of the alert class. Mr. Robertson was a level 2 instructor for alert. This pipe is not active, as it is a prop for training. Furthermore, these items were present when the FBI searched his home for the first time on January 19th. On January 19th, the FBI confiscated what they believed to be firearms or destructive devices, but left this box with the pipe. The gunpowder was also present on January 19th, 2021. So there you go. And then finally, he did not violate conditions of his release because he did not ship or transport firearms. Stated in the government's motion, these items were ordered by Mr. Robertson. Mr. Robertson did not ship or transport these items. The defense submits that this matter could be solved by adding the words to pretrial release conditions. Mr. Robertson may not personally order, touch, ship, or transport firearms. The issue of whether he violates 18 U.S.C. 922N is separate and distinct and requires a Second Amendment analysis. It is worthy to note that he has not been charged with a violation of that statute as of the filing of this responsive pleading. And his statements on social media has nothing to do with violations of his release conditions. The issue before the court is whether Mr. Robertson violated conditions of his release after February 25th, 2021, when this court ordered him not to possess firearms or destructive devices. Mr. Robertson's personal opinion on social media that he believes the FBI posted his address online and thereafter sent hate mail is not relevant to the issue before the court. Frankly, this additional information in the government's motion clouds the issue and dramatizing the issue before the public. Mr. Robertson is not a member of any organization, as the government tries to define him in their motion. He is a proud veteran with a love for his country. Reading the government's motion, one would think that he is developing an arsenal when that is not true. Mr. Robertson was an antique gun lover, served his country honorably, and the guns he allegedly purchased but did not possess were antique guns from the World War II era. He was a police officer on January 6th. The following day, he was fired from his job. He has routinely sent hate mail. He has not flagrantly disregarded the court's order. In fact, according to the government, he made statements to the FBI on June 29th stating he ordered but had not possessed because he believed this was in compliance with the court's order. Government motion states there are photographs and videos of him participating in the insurrection at the Capitol. Again, this is not true. On January 6th, Mr. Robertson asked the Capitol police officer whether he can enter the Capitol. He is told by the Capitol police officer that he may enter, just don't go into any restrictive areas. He enters the Capitol for less than 10 minutes and leaves. He did not break anything or assault anyone. For nearly the same conduct, the government has considered this activity to be misdemeanors, has accepted misdemeanor pleas from other persons charged on January 6th. So there you go. That's the story of Mr. Robertson, the police officer who is charged after the Capitol insurrection. Pretty interesting story, though. And that's how this is done. That's how this is done. That's how this has been done long before this. It's how it'll be done long after this. This is how the language that reaches the media from the wording of prosecutors in charging documents gets to be the dominant narrative in the coverage of legal matters. Right? According to the charging document, this guy is buying guns, possessing guns in violation of his probation agreements. He's got a pipe bomb. He's a member of the Proud Boys, and he's spouting violent rhetoric online, urging violence. That is what is the narrative of the prosecutor, and that narrative is picked up by news stations and run to run people into the ground. This is why, especially being under a federal indictment for a felony charge, is one of the most horrifying experiences of people's lives. Because they have to deal with this. They have to deal with a public that hears that they're an awful, awful person. And in civil cases, you know, you file a petition, you file an answer, there are official things back and forth. In criminal cases, you typically don't have that. You're not filing answers to this stuff. The government has to prove the case against you. You don't have to prove the case against the government. So you don't need those answers to come through. They need to go ahead and make their case. And if they can't, you win automatically. So there's not often a counter narrative. This parole violation actually offers a minor chance for a counter narrative, just a little bit. And the lawyer threw it in. It's a well-written document. Wolvenar says, will you ever get to the Supreme Court judge's thoughts on eminent domain? Yes, it's on my video list for tomorrow. Kelo versus City of New London is one of the worst decisions in Supreme Court history. Clarence Thomas and Neil Gorsuch want to undo it, and it needs to be undone. It is the pinnacle of injustice. Briefly, I'm going to do a full video about this tomorrow. But if you don't know, there's a decision. I think it's 2005. It's either 2004 or 2005. Kelo versus the City of New London. And what it did was it took houses from people through eminent domain, right? Eminent domain is the Fifth Amendment concept where the government can take your property without your consent, so long as they provide just compensation. So they compensate you, and that the property is put to public use. So it's really hard for a government to build a road because that road is going to cut through a whole bunch of property. And if you have, let's say you have 20 properties that the road is going to cut through, and the government's going to pay $1,000 an acre, prorated down to however much land they're taking for each section of property. And they offer that, and then 18 of the houses say, yes, we will do it. Well, then the last two go, wait, they can't build the road without our consent. Why would we take $1,000 an acre? Let's make them pay us $100,000 an acre. That'd be a better deal for us. You know, as the property gets more and more scarce, as a project comes closer to fruition, they charge more. Eminent domain gets around those problems and says, okay, we've got a public roadway that we're making. We've got a couple holdouts. We can go ahead and take it, give them the fair market value that we gave everybody else, and do it. That's the ideal use for eminent domain. It is not how it's always used. That's kind of the idealized version of how that works, okay? Same thing with if they want to lay a power line that runs across your property and they need the easement for it, they can just eminent domain the easement and give you some sort of compensation. It's a minimal intrusion into your property, and then they compensate you for it, and they get an easement. Other than trying to negotiate it with a particularly stubborn landowner, it's going to be like, no, you can't run an electric line through my grass. Like, but why though? So these are the uses that eminent domain is kind of for. The idea that it might be taken for literal public use. How eminent domain gets used is completely different from that. Completely different from that. And how it was used in Kelo versus the City of New London was there was a private company that wanted to build a shopping mall. And there's a neighborhood of houses. And they got agreements to buy a bunch of the houses, but there were some holdouts. And so, I think it was a shopping mall, strip mall, something like that. So the City of New London says, fine, we're going to take your home through eminent domain and then give it to the private company to develop the economic opportunity of a commercial retail space. And if that doesn't offend you, I don't know what does. Like, that is one of the most offensive notions ever. That they would take your home and give it to a commercial real estate developer to make a strip mall. That is beyond the notions of justice. It is beyond the powers of eminent domain. But the Supreme Court said this was the right decision, that should be allowed because a public use includes economic opportunities through private ownership. So they took from a private company or private person, gave to a private company. Absolutely embarrassing. Now here's the best part of this. The mall was never even built. They never got it off the ground. They failed. Not because of Corona Chan. They failed long before Corona. They just fucking failed. They took people's money. They took people's property. They gave it to a private company that failed. It's just grass. So, now Thomas and Gorsuch are out there fighting the real fight. Like, Thomas is not getting enough credit. He's getting a lot, but he's not getting enough. He's been shitting on Kelo for years, saying this is garbage. This is a bad decision. It was bad then. It's bad now. Undo it, undo it, undo it. And the court's cucking out. Thomas keeps hammering on it. Now he's got Gorsuch on its side. For those of you who think that, like, lone dissents don't matter, Thomas's consistent dissenting on this issue. What was the other issue? There was another issue. Let me see. I just talked about it the other day. What was it? New York Times versus Sullivan. Thomas has been dissenting on cases where they get away from New York, where they're avoiding ruling on New York Times versus Sullivan. Those dissents do matter because the good reasoning that is used in those dissents is used by other justices to change their minds, to give them legal arguments, to show them legal avenues for changing bad law. And Kelo is one of them. Thomas is doing really well. He's got Gorsuch on both, on Kelo and on New York Times versus Sullivan, and that's a good thing. A lot of people get very cynical. It's like, oh, dissents don't matter. Ruth Bader Ginsburg's entire career of progressive politics, progressive decisions, the progressive nature of the court was built on her dissents. And it's hard to argue that Ruth Bader Ginsburg was less than one of the most successful and impactful Supreme Court justices in my generation, which is like, she was doing it in a way that I don't agree with her views on a lot of these issues, but that doesn't matter because the method by which she did it started with dissents, and it gave ammo to judges like Roberts who don't have spines, for example. Those dissents do matter. Comics. Ethan Van Skyver says, but now she's dead, so who cares? EVS, the only person better at grifting than you and me is the estate of Ruth Bader Ginsburg. You think you're cute little, you think, oh, I'm Ethan. I got these cool little fucking toys that everybody's buying. I've raised like $10 billion selling lizard toys and frog toys and some hot chick toy. I'm out here doing all this stuff and making all this money and rolling around in diamonds and stuff. And do you think that Ruth Bader Ginsburg has a full-on board game called I Dissent long before your silly little crowdfunders, okay? And by the way, guys, everybody who is an Ethan Van Skyver fan, Ethan Van Skyver head too, either one. If you're Ethan Van Skyver's head or you are a fan of him, you got to check out his new Indiegogo campaign for the Cyber Frog toys. They are cool looking toys, very high quality, and people are snatching them up. So go grab some. Go grab some. So yeah, the dissents matter. That's my whole point in that. But yeah, there will be a full video on Kelo tomorrow, and Thomas and Gorsuch dissenting on a recent decision. Stormcrow 900 says, since we're nitpicking words, the M4 was very likely not an actual M4, since M4s are military rifles with 3-round burst fire ability, making it a machine gun. Sun's rifle is an AR. This rider is full of shot as usual. Yeah, maybe. Maybe, I don't know. Don't care. I mean, like, that's not the point of the article. Blaine20 says, a friend's grandmother lost land to a highway decades ago, and the county employees who chopped up the land for the project took the bits on the other side of the new highway and put them into his own name. Yeah, that's great. I love when they do that. I had a client had a similar thing happen where they lost hundreds of thousands, maybe even $1 million+ in lakeshore property use because of where they ran a highway and basically turned usable lakeshore lots, which, if you don't know anything about lakeshore lots in Minnesota, they're worth a ton of money. Turned usable lakeshore lots into unusable roadside land. So, fun times. Fun times. Yeah, government road projects are great ways to watch people get screwed. Vagabond Ninja, who needs Pornhub? Vagabond Ninja says, Kelo was 2005. It gutted the takings clause from the U.S. Constitution. The framers referred to eminent domain as the despotic power for a reason. If project doesn't get built, too bad. You still lose your land. Yep, and that's exactly what happened in Kelo. Exactly what happened. Just a nasty thing. Just a nasty, nasty decision. All right, let's get some happy time. And this is rare for me. It is rare for me that my happy time involves a video of a police officer, a state trooper. And it also is similarly rare that my happy time involves Facebook in any way. Let me get the audio set up here. Also, you guys are going to try harder. Have to try harder if you want to make me mad. I'm still very, very happy. And a fair warning, there is offensive language in this video. Very offensive language. All right, here we go. Are you ready? Are you ready? Sorry.
Hey, can I just ask you why you're riding their butt like that and speeding, man? I'm running his license plate because everybody else is.
All right, we're going to stop right there. So the first thing he does, cop peeks in the window. Hey. And the guy in the car says, hey, can I ask you why you're running on that other car's butt right now? Why you're speeding, right? So the guy in the car is asking the cop why the cop is riding on the butt of another car and speeding. Now, I was a little confused the first time I watched this video, so I wanted to make sure that that was clear. That was the guy in the car talking to the cop, not the cop talking to him. So I'm going to start it back over because it's only 6 seconds, and we'll go back into this.
Hey, can I just ask you why you're riding their butt like that and speeding, man? I'm running his license plate because everybody else is speeding. Why are you speeding? I was only going 60. Speed limit's 40.
Don't talk to the cops. Don't do it. It's a traffic stop. Don't do it. What are you doing? Why? I was only going 60. Speed limit's 40. Oh, fuck. What are you thinking, you dumbass? Okay, here we go.
50.
Signs.
Okay.
Bye-bye. Do
All
yourself
right.
a favor. Oh, give me the weed, too.
No, I have a.
Yeah,
I have a medical marijuana card.
Step out.
I have a card.
Step out.
Uh-oh. Oh, shit.
All right, stop, man.
You want to fucking run your mouth? No problem. You came to the right guy. Step out.
All right, stop.
Come on.
Yeah, give me the fucking weed, too. You're getting wrecked, you moron.
Hands, please. Fun fact. Anything sharp?
No, sir.
Where's the marijuana?
I have it in my car, but I have
Where's
a
the
weed
card?
card. I have a weed card.
6 feet apart. Right now you're just being detained. You're not under arrest.
All right.
All right, we should be back. We should be back. We should be back. Thank you. Thank you, internet connection. Look. Nothing can make me mad. Nothing at all. I am in Zen bliss. Zen bliss today, okay? All right, here we go. I went back to 30 seconds where I'd paused it before because of the small F, so we're going to go back to it. It was only like 10 seconds that passed. Here we go.
Hands, please. Fun fact. Anything sharp?
No, sir.
Where's the marijuana?
I have it in my car, but I have
Where's
a
the
weed
card?
card. I have a weed card.
6 feet apart. Right now you're just being detained. You're not under arrest.
All right.
Seems you have a very hostile attitude.
No, I really don't.
See, the blue car
Yeah, which one?
was tailing me
Yeah.
while I was pacing a tractor trailer looking for a motor vehicle violation because the
Okay.
governor's office has gotten multiple complaints
Yeah.
on traffic stops.
I know.
Okay?
I know that.
So we're out doing our thing.
Okay.
He decides to pass me and flip me off.
Uh-oh. You're getting downhill rage right now. He decides to pass me and flip me off.
All right, Spino, I'm sorry.
All right?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So who the fuck do you think you are worried about what I'm doing?
Okay. You're right.
I know I'm right, goddammit. Get the fuck down. Everyone's got something to fucking say. Mind your own goddamn business. You're fucking speeding. How would I start with that?
You're right. Listen, I'm sorry.
No shit. I was following that kid for a reason. And if you hadn't done that fucking stupid stunt, I'd be with him right now. But no.
This is why you don't say a word to cops. Don't do it. So see who's gonna go. The guy speeds past the cop. Picture this. Cop is tailing a semi-trailer, right? He's tailing a semi-trailer. Some guy starts riding on the cop's ass, and then he's already speeding because the cop is speeding, right? He's speeding to keep pace at the semi-trailer. The guy rides the cop's ass, then passes him speeding, flips the cop off like a fucking moron, and then speeds ahead. So the cop goes to follow that guy. So then he's tailing that guy when this guy comes along and somehow pisses off this towering inferno of rage even more. Don't even know exactly what he did, but he pissed off this cop more than the guy who flipped him off and passed him. That is hilarious to me. So he would have been going after the guy who flipped him off, but instead he's got to take care of this dumbass. Oh my God.
No! You just couldn't leave it alone, could you? You had to be a fucking American.
I think he said you had to be a fucking American, which I find to be a funny insult.
God help you if there's anything illegal in this car. Is it in the original dispensary container? What? It's roach. Is it in the original dispensary container? No. Then you're fucked.
I got a weed card. I got a weed card. Is it in the original dispensary container? No, it's roaches. Is it in The original dispensary container. No. Then you're fucked. You're done. What are you doing? Now you're at a felony. Now you're at a felony.
How's that sound? No shit. Mind your own fucking business next time.
How is this search justified? 100% justified. He knew the guy had weed in the car. The guy admitted that he had weed in the car. He said he's got a medical card. Medical cards don't exempt you from marijuana searches. Decriminalization and medical exceptions for marijuana do not exempt you from a search of a car. They actually, like, if a cop smells weed, if he sees it, whatever it is, if you admit that you have weed, you can have a card all day. It does not exempt you from a search. And you do not need a warrant to search a car. A car in and of itself, an operable vehicle is a rolling exception to the warrant requirement. All you need to search a car is probable cause, period. There is no warrant requirement on any vehicle that can drive. That is a long line of Supreme Court cases. I don't know the names of all of them. It doesn't matter. Just know that your car is not subject to a search warrant requirement. It is the exception to a search warrant requirement if it rolls. So the only possible exception you would have is if you had parked your car on like a fucking lot at a motorhome place and were living out of your car at the motorhome place. You can maybe argue that it's a domicile. Maybe. You'd probably lose that argument. If it's a motorhome, different story. But if it's a car, you're probably going to lose that argument. So yeah, I will always say it. If a cop is talking to you at a traffic stop, your answers are no, sir. Your answers are no, sir. John Moriarty, I mentioned it. What about RVs? Those become a question. If you're an RV driving down the highway and they pull you over, you do not have an exemption to the search warrant, or they probably have an exemption to the search warrant requirement. If you're an RV that is parked at a campsite, or that you're parked in a mobile home lot or something like that, you probably cannot search it. If it's being used as a domicile, they probably cannot do it. If you're going down the highway, they probably can. So it gets a little bit complicated, and that is a fantastic case for the Supreme Court to resolve. But I would err on that safe sort of rule of thumb. If you're driving it, they've got an exemption to the warrant requirement. If you're parked stationary at a place where an RV would be a domicile, a temporary residence, or a permanent residence, that is going to typically require a warrant. And if you want a great exploration of this, there's actually an episode of Breaking Bad where the main character is in an RV at a junkyard, and his brother-in-law, who's the cop, is trying to search the RV, and he gets into an argument with the owner of the junkyard where the RV is, right? Gets into an argument about his ability to search the RV, and the guy says, nope, that's actually not an RV that's on the road. That is a domicile. It is stationary. It doesn't move. All of that stuff. That's a great exploration of the topic in popular media that's done really, really well. It's done really well. Very rarely are legal constitutional issues explored well in popular media. That's one of the very few times that it is. So if you want to kind of see how that argument plays out, that was probably written by lawyers. All right, so back to this. Yes, the guy has the right to search the vehicle. I don't necessarily agree with that, by the way. That's just the law. But this is why when an officer pulls you over, your answers are either no answer at all or no, sir. Be polite, be respectful. Enforce your rights, but be polite and be respectful. Because the cop may have just been flipped off by some other driver, and all that rage is going to go right up your asshole if you piss him off.
Yeah, it's called shut the fuck up! I I was driving along, I was going to hit you with a simple citation that I keep, but no! How's that sound? No shit! Mind your own fucking business next time! Yeah, it's called shut the fuck up! I was driving along, I was going to hit you with a simple citation that I keep, but no! You gotta be... Just couldn't fucking shut your mouth. Where you going anyway? Where do you work? Where?
It's called American Pulp.
What's that?
It's
paper?
Yeah, you know, like the liquor bottles and stuff that the shit comes in.
American Pulp is where the guy says he works. He's going to work at American Pulp. And so he's saying, you know, the liquor bottles and shit. It's this stuff. It's this stuff is what his company makes. You know, I don't particularly like or dislike this cop. I just love how pissed off he is. But it's about to turn kind of sad.
Like the train. I promise you, I only have weed in the car. Honest to goodness. And
Shut up!
it's all right here in my glove box right here.
You ever heard of what a heat seeker is?
No.
A heat seeker is something that draws attention to itself. Heat-seeking missiles, they go for the heat. Sit the fuck down. Did I tell you to move?
This cop, by the way, this cop is on a hair trigger. Why would you move? You should clench your asshole and every muscle in your body should be tense and you should not even breathe. You should Floyd yourself just to keep this cop from killing you. What are you doing?
Why am I speeding? I'm doing my fucking job. Connecticut General Statute 14-298 allows law enforcement officers to disregard the traffic laws in the performance of their duties. How the fuck am I going to catch a speeder if I'm not speeding? You late for your job at NASA with physics? Where do you want this? Doesn't get trashed. I can tell. I don't want to get ruined.
Oh, he's still nice. The guy's stuff. I don't want this to get ruined. This isn't trash.
Unfucking believable. It just never fucking ends in this fucking job. I got 14 months. I can't fucking wait to be done.
This is to me where it gets sad, right? This cop's got 14 months left on the job. He can't wait to be done. He's tired of it. This isn't this guy's fault, by the way. This isn't this guy's fault. This is what the media and Democrat politicians in particular have done to these cops. This is what they've done to these cops. Like I shit on bad cop behavior a lot, but the overwhelming majority of police interactions are not bad. Overwhelming majority are not bad. And to see what the policies and politics of a particular group of individuals have done to these cops, this is it. This is it. Listen to the anger and the rage in this cop's voice. Like he is thoroughly pissed off, and he's pissed off at a whole lot more than a guy who drove by and flipped him off, right? Adam K says, whose fucking fault is it? Everyone who acts like an asshole. It is their fault. Don't give me this media shit. If he doesn't like his job, quit. Yeah, but why do you think all these people don't actually like cops? It's not from personal experience for the overall amount of interactions that people have. Most people don't interact with cops that often. Most people don't interact with cops that often. It's not like their own individual experiences are all universally bad and all have led everybody to hate cops. There's a massive campaign right now to make normal people hate cops. I know a lot of people do have bad interactions. I've had mildly bad interactions that made me really pissed off at particular cops. Some of my friends have had really bad personal interactions that have made them hate cops. I'm not denying it. I'm saying the overwhelming majority of people who are out there hating cops right now are not doing it based off of personal experience. There's a literal movement in the streets to make people hate cops even more than normal. We've got a media reporting on things like the Ma'Khia Bryant shooting, where a cop actually saves a young girl's life as him murdering some other girl. But that's what's going on, man. It makes me worried for the country, because again, I'm not a big cop proponent in any stretch of the word. Very, very critical of them with a lot of frequency. But I really wonder what's going to happen without them. And this guy is not the only cop who feels this. I mean, they're having trouble filling ranks in Minnesota. They're having so much trouble filling ranks of cops in Minnesota that a judge had a writ of mandamus to the police department to force them to hire more police. Like, that's how bad it's getting out there. It's crazy town. It's crazy town. And Z-Star says, have you noticed how these people hate cops but love feds? Yeah, that's mind-blowing to me. Mind-blowing to me. Because me, I'm like, don't talk to government at all. Like, the cop is not the only government official that you don't talk to. You don't talk to any of them, ever. Like the water guy, definitely don't talk to the water guy. Never tell the water guy shit. Water guy is the biggest thorn in your ass that you could find. Don't talk to the water guy. But all the government, you never talk to a tax guy at the government. Don't do it. Don't do it. But I always say don't do it because I think cops are good at what their job is supposed to be, and that is finding a crime to put a criminal next to. They're good at that. And when you say something, they go, bing, a little light goes on. They go, oh, so you're building a shed, huh? I wonder how that's going to impact the water flow on your property. Oh, you want to do a little excavating on your property, huh? Well, I wonder if that's going to impact any wetlands nearby. They are the fucking devil. Don't ever talk to the water guy. Don't ever do it. Very, very dangerous for your health. Anyway, it's, look, there is some level of need for cops. There is some level of need for cops. And to see them so disheartened, and it's not, this guy is not alone. Not alone. That's a scary prospect, because what are they going to replace the cops with? If the cop unions all got together and were like, hey, we want to get out of here. We don't like it. We don't like it anymore. We're going to run our own private security. They do that and they all quit. What are they replaced with? Do we have National Guard? Who's going to do it? What state of emergency do we get? What state of emergency order do we get? You think the COVID lockdowns were interesting? Let's see what state of emergency orders we get when there are no cops. Oh, they say they want to replace them with social workers. When all the cops leave and there's violence in the streets, trust me, you're not getting social workers out there. You're not getting that. You're getting something else, man. They say social workers in public, but all communists want control by overt force. All communists in control, once they get power, they want to maintain that control by overt force. I'm sure Mao wanted social workers too, until it was fucking tanks. So here we go. Let's finish this up.
This ought to tell you why our department, instead of having 1,300, has 850 right now. There's a fucking clue to the public. What about?
So instead of 1,300 officers, their department has 850 right now. That's what he's talking about. Guys are just leaving. And they're leaving in droves. We talked about this the other day. The stats on cops leaving is massive. Is massive. This guy probably, if he didn't have 14 months left, he'd already be gone.
bunch of assholes you are. Right there. You want it on paper or not? Is it in the original dispensary container? No shit. Turn around. Everything across you make You think I'm kidding? You think I'm fucking kidding? Look at me. Do I look like I'm happy with you right now? Shut your fucking mouth, mind your own business, and be on your way. Don't you ever fuck with me again.
And at the end of the day, all the cop did was throw the guy's weed on the ground and let him go. He didn't even cite him. He didn't even cite him. No citation, no speeding ticket, nothing. Completely let him go. That dude got off way easy. Way easy, by the way. Yeah, August Stevenson, you must have come in a little bit later, asked why the guy was being pulled over. Basically, the cop was following someone who was speeding, and this guy must have like tried to pass him and flipped him off or something. He was doing 60 in a 40-mile-an-hour lane, 40-mile-an-hour zone, and so the cop pulled him over for shenanigans. Man, I have never been in as shitty of a position as that guy was in. And man, I've gotten tickets for way less bullshit than that. Zero SMSS says, if I recall this story right, the cop reported himself for this and voluntarily took his last 14 months at a desk. I guess he didn't do anything wrong. He just yelled at the guy. He didn't beat him. He didn't hit him. His search was legal. Everything about this stop seemed fine. I mean, he's yelling at the guy, but I've been yelled at by a cop too. But that's a good move for the cop, by the way. He recognized, man, I'm on a hair trigger here. I'm on a hair trigger. Get me out of this. Good. Good. And legitimately good. If you think that you're tired of the BS to the point where you might become a danger to the people that you're interacting with, you're supposed to serve, then get out. Get out of it. Get out of it. If he can take 14 months at a desk and get his pension, good. That's what he worked for. That's what he worked for his whole life. So, lost your roaches. Yeah, it's just roaches. It's just roaches at that point. But, yeah, so anyway. Sonny Gonzalez says, hey, it's the long forgotten con slut, Pyretta Riddle, aka Sonny. Just wanted to say I didn't forget you, just been stupid busy. Love you, chat. Hey, thank you, Sonny. Are you going to be at Matsuri? Sonny Gonzalez says, moved to Santa Rosa County, Florida. Just saying NWF is the best. Northwest Florida, I guess, is the best. Also, if you get pulled over, comply and shut your mouth. Always assert your rights, because you have to assert your rights to preserve them, but do so respectfully and calmly. The Zan Man says, I got pulled over and yelled at with no ticket once. It was an interesting time. I got pulled over and yelled at with a ticket. I got pulled over and yelled at with a ticket. It was great. Maladjusted Quest says, shit, when I was growing up in the 80s and 90s, that cop would have beat my ass. Yeah. The guy's lucky he's in Connecticut, not like Detroit. Imagine being in the projects in Detroit and having a couple roaches on you. That cop would have whooped your ass so hard. Bane Ironhand says, did you yell back, though? The second I got that ticket in my hand, I did. Oh, yeah. Once I knew I was getting a ticket, I lit that motherfucker up. Bad Vibe says, I'm anti-authoritarian, have issues with specific department policies. Generally, cops aren't bad. Most cops follow policy regardless of how good the policy is or isn't. Yeah, it's their job. And if they don't follow policy, they face civil charges. So that's why a lot of them do. But it's always, you know, who's writing the policies. Tom Bombathrill says, the police will happily disarm you and I while kneeling for those that wish us dead. Sure, there's good cops, but what happens when they're given the orders by their communist masters to trample on our rights or get fired? Yeah, that'll be the scary thing, man. And note that when I say this, I know a couple cops personally. I like them. They're nice guys. They are. They're nice, respectable human beings. And the reason I say don't talk to those guys too, and why I'll have small talk with them, but I'm not going to talk about anything I'm doing, is because I actually respect that they are good at their jobs. I know them. I would trust them to figure out what I was doing wrong, because I'm sure it's something. So that's just my thing. But I always say, assert your rights, but you fight in court. So assert your rights, but be respectful and polite while the cop is at your... If you want the best encounter that you can get out of a particular situation, that's how you do it. If the cop violates your rights, that's something you fight at trial, not in the street. Because the cop will win in the street. He's got a gun, a taser, a baton, handcuffs, pepper spray, and a whole lot of pent-up rage. He's going to win in the streets. He's gonna commit you back to them. So that's why you fight that in court. And then finally, Sonny Gonzalez says, will not be at Matsuri. Just got down with 2 funerals in the last week. Oh my God. But still in contact with Vic. Good. He needs all of the friends that are out there for him. And the support that people have given him has been great. Very, very great and very, very encouraging. So I'm glad to hear that. Hopefully we'll get to meet sometime at some other convention. All right. Let's go over our favorite words. This Twitter thread has since been deleted, so you can't do anything funny on it. But I do need to find this Twitter person so I can show you them real quick. We need this. This is important. Whoa. Okay, here we go. This is the author of the Twitter thread. No, the chat didn't freeze on the capture. It's fixed. Set a nice pause. Here we go. This is from Jason Bonnet, they/he. Author of the Fairth series, stay-at-home parent, Asian American, queer, no kidding, and disabled. Digital artist, pagan witch, they/he, arrow/ace, trans mask, NB. So, okay. And this is the most important thing. Not followed by anyone you're following. It's rare that I run across this. Updated digital art commission prices. So these are the digital art commissions that you can get. You can get a face. This will run you $30. This will run you $35. A less detailed half portrait with a generic body shape will run you $40. 3/4 portrait where you get to look like Ellen DeGeneres got abducted by aliens and had all the melanin sucked out of her already pale skin. That'll get you $45. Then you get this, a different thing. This is different. This one you can look like someone who is going to a Lord of the Rings convention in the wilderness wearing a giant nut cup. So that's good. Or you can get this one. Okay. Book covers. Sex, death, and other strange ideas. There's an unwanted touch happening in this picture. Ask me about my prices for book covers. Look, you've written the great American novel. You've written the best book you've ever written in your life. Isn't this what you want your book to look like when it hits those Barnes and Noble shelves? When your Amazon cover art comes up, this is what you want right there, right? Special. Ask me about my prices for book covers. Special deals for multiple covers. This is what I think, right there. Okay, so that's this person. Here we go. Here's what we're here for, though. This is the deleted thread, a non-exhaustive guide to ableist language to avoid. Happy Disability Pride Month. TW ableism. What is TW? And then thread. What does TW mean? Can someone help me out? Pastor Flash says, have a drink with me. My father passed away yesterday at home while I was holding him. He was very sick. It was his time. Thank God. Dude. Yeah, I got you, buddy. I got you, buddy. To Pastor Flash, to your father, you say it was his time. May he rest in peace and pain-free. And may you only remember the important and good lessons he instilled in you. Cheers, brother. All right. And then finally, Sonny Gonzalez says, just continuing the thread here, says, in your best Lemoyne voice, don't go to Pensacon. It's run by a remote-wielding jerk. Oh, damn. All right, so thank you, by the way, to the chat, who is TW equals trigger warning. there's some ableism. Okay, do I have to put this on every single stream now? Do I have to put trigger warning ableism on every single stream I've ever done? Oh, here we go. All right. R word. R word is FBI Fed speak for retard. So starting off easy, hopefully this exclusionary slur has been used to imply that lack of intelligence is a lack of humanity. Nope. Nope. Retards are no less human than other non-retards. They're just being all fucked up and retarded and shit, like Justin Long would say, because your shit's all retarded or whatever. It has nothing to do with a lack of humanity. It has everything to do with you, who is presumably not actually mentally handicapped when you're using it as a slur, because most people are not running around to they're like, oh, let me find the Downs kid so I can call him a retard. That's not actually what most people are doing. Most people are saying that the person that they're addressing has lacked mental capacity to the point where they are behind. They are en retard. It's a French word. It means to be late, to be behind. I am en retard in every stream. You guys should probably, if you could ever get off of your late and gay thing, be just typing EN retard in the chat to make fun of me in that way. That would be very French insulty of you. Except not really. Say it with me. Intelligence is not a basis for respect. False. False. Actually, intelligence is a basis for respect. 100%. And that's not an opinion. That's not an opinion. That's basic humanity. If people find other people to be, if in their perception, more intelligent, they will default to a more respectful approach. And if they find people to be less in intelligence, they will typically default to a less respectful or even a more jovial or colloquial approach. It doesn't automatically mean offensively less respectful. It just means that they're going to tend to treat higher intelligence people with a level of respect. It's just how people operate. This isn't really it's not like a thing. It's not actually a commentary on you. It's how the person acting perceives their actions will be taken by the intelligence of the other person. Ask Hillary Clinton. She carries hot sauce in her purse when she's around black people. What does she think about intelligence and race? Hetty Lamar says, don't hurt people with genuine disabilities. Slurs, let me say this out loud. Most of you guys know this about me. I will not use a slur in its offensive slur meaning against someone that I know to be the slur. Like, I won't call a gay person a figgot, right? I won't do it. Because that's not actually offensive to them in that way. And the goal is not to attack the characteristic of the person. The goal of a good insult is to rankle someone, to get under their skin. And not by attacking some core characteristic of their being with a slur. Like, that doesn't make any sense. And first of all, most people aren't out there actually trying to go after people with mental disabilities. Like, you retard! That's not what most people are trying to do with their lives. I mean, I'm sure somebody is, and God bless that person. They need it. But that's not what people are trying to do. Most people aren't out there calling gays the F slur because they're gay. Again, some people genuinely don't like gays. Sure, they're gonna say that. But we're talking about percentages here. Most people just mean it as a general insult, like you're being a piece of shit. All right, anyway. There are those who reclaim this slur, but it's best not to use against anyone. Oh my God! Okay, I take everything back. The one thing I want in the world is to see, a redo of The Odd Couple. Like Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon, but they're both played by disabled people calling each other retards. That, oh man, would be funny. That is what I want. That is what I want. Please, somebody take back the R slur. Do it. You better cast real trisomy people for this one. That's what we have to do. Yeah, but that's it. We'll get Crippled Jesus and that Donovan guy or Ricky Berwick, and they can just or whatever. Like, right? Like, just find the most crippled, disabled, Twitter-based people you can, who embrace their Twitter cripplenidity or whatever, and just have that. Just do that. Just do that. Oh, I said trisomy, whatever it is. All of them. Whatever chromosomal disorder you need. Just pick one. They're all the same anyway, right? Sonny Gonzalez says, is being a drunk, Sonny, considered disabled or retardation? It's only retardation if you're drunk for the second time, like me. All right. Next on the list, smooth brain. Lesencephaly is a genetic brain disorder in which someone lacks folds on their cerebral cortex. There are legitimate smooth brains out there. But people use this phrase as an insult to imply a lack of intelligence. Say it with me again. Intelligence is not basic for respect. There are actually a bunch of smooth brains running around. Oh, God. Oh, just Vaseline them up. The next one. Touch grass. Touch grass. Yep, that's right. Touch grass is now an ableist slur. This phrase is used to imply someone has lost touch with reality and just needs to go outside. Yeah, go out and touch some grass. What the fuck is wrong with you? This is ableist because there are many people who physically cannot go outside. And there are people who have lost touch with reality, but this doesn't mean they don't deserve respect. Oh. Yo, get outside and touch some grass, Jason. Insane/crazy. Aside from being an ableist insult against those with mental illnesses, this is used to imply something is unbelievable. This connotation is incredibly harmful. Instead of saying an experience was crazy, try using the word wild instead. Oh my God, do you see the ableism? Look, some people have not been properly civilized and domesticated. Have you even seen Tarzan, you R-slur, smooth brain, grass not touching, insano person? You get wild? You can't call someone wild. How dare you? What if they were raised by wolves? Literally. I see now why the trigger warning was on here. They hate aboriginals. Stupid/idiot. These words have historical connotations. Notice they don't have moron or fucking dummy in there, with implying a lack of intelligence, and are often used as insults. Let's say it again. Intelligence is not a basis for respect. Yours sure isn't. Trigger warning, classism and racism. Holy shit! This is the most racist thing they could put down. Here we go. Baronets, did Streamlabs just die? I'm getting code 500. I don't think so, but maybe. Oh. Yeah, Streamlabs itself seems to be down. Shit. I don't know if I can get to the donations on Streamlabs. Unless my Streamlabs just got nuked again. We'll see. They may be having a problem here. Yeah, I think Streamlabs is having a problem. I don't think it's me. But it could be. We'll find out. When I got banned, I didn't get this 500 error. So it's I think it's something else. Let me see if I can hold on. Checking my, yeah, it's something's up with the Streamlabs actual page. It doesn't look like me. Okay, this is the most racist thing I've seen in a while. They put a classism and racism tag on Cant Read. Someone not being able to read has little to nothing to do with their race. As far as I'm aware, every single race on the planet has developed the ability to read. Every race of humans, I suppose. They've developed the ability. They can, shockingly, all can be taught to read. It has a whole lot more to do with either economic status, or some sort of belief or something like that than it has to do with any race thing. Absolute fucking idiocy. Implying someone is misunderstanding you because they can't read is racist, classist, and ableist. No, it's just true. Like, bro, can you even read? A lot of people can't actually read. Like, they may be able to decipher words from symbols, but they can't actually read. They can't cognate what's going on with the written word on the page. That's a big difference. There's a big difference between being able to see symbols and translate them into language than there is between reading comprehension that's going on. That's what they're talking about. And that has nothing to do with any of this. They might not be fluent in this language. Well, then they're an arslur and they can get out. Look, if you can't read English, why do you even bother living anymore? Maybe find a bridge. They might not understand your vocab. They might be blind. If they're blind, they can't read, you fucking dummy. I don't think most of the people on Twitter who you like, can't you read, bro, are blind. I don't think that's the issue. I don't think their Braille keyboards have failed them. Yeah, I know they can read Braille, but that's not removing their ability to comprehend language because it's in Braille versus Braille is an actual, it's a literal alternative to the English alphabet. So it's like, if they're on Twitter, right? Like if you're saying can't read because you're in a thread, if they can read Braille, then they can read Braille. If they're blind and can't read Braille, then they literally can't read and aren't typing on the thread. When you're communicating by text, you have to pretty much presume the other person can literally read. It's not the literal reading that they're criticizing. It's their ability to comprehend the language that they're taking in. They might be blind. Also, intelligence is not a basis for respect. This person is really protecting their fucking dumbness. Don't bother none says, do blind people use text-to-speech for Twitter? I don't know. But if they can effectively read. They can effectively read. Jason Bond says, lame. Lame? Lame. This word historically meant having difficulty walking, but people now use it to imply something is boring or not fun. Like people who can't walk. Say what you mean instead of using ableist language. I mean, it's as boring as someone who can't walk. That's what I mean when I say lame. You know what? This show is lame. If it were a person, it wouldn't be able to walk. That'd be boring. Dumb. This term is used to imply those who are nonverbal are lacking in intelligence. No, I know nonverbal people. They're not lacking in intelligence. You're dumb. There's no correlation between being nonverbal and intelligence. And using this, actually, there can be correlation between being nonverbal and intelligence. This is a misnomer of a lot of this stuff. There are people who are nonverbal because of various physical infirmities, right? And then there are people who are nonverbal because they literally lack the intelligence to be verbal. They could have a traumatic brain injury. They could have developmental delays. They could have all sorts of issues that have led to their nonverbalness, and it can stem from a lack of intelligence. That's actually a real thing. Or they could be fully intelligent and just nonverbal because they had damage to vocal cords or they have some other particular issue that prevents them from being verbal. You can't wrap all nonverbal people in the same thing. And guess what? No one using dumb is actually talking about someone nonverbal. You fat fucking dummy. Bad Vibe says, Nick, Rodney Dangerfield was smart and funny and able. He was just overweight, unattractive, and unlucky. And still, he got no respect. Mentally 4 years old. Very specific. You know this person. You know this person has been specifically called mentally 4 years old. This rhetoric has been used to infantilize those with developmental delays and allow conservatorships of grown adults. Developmental delays do not negate age. A 30-year-old is a 30-year-old and is an adult no matter what developmental delays they may have. Did this person just justify their fetish for having sex with mentally underdeveloped people? I think so. I think they did. I can't actually fathom what this line means other than that. Because if someone is ruled mentally infirm to handle their own expenses, for example, because they have a disability that literally infantilizes them, that has nothing to do with them being an adult. It just means that they're not able to be in charge of that aspect of their life. They're still an adult. The only time someone being an adult matters, just as a status of being an adult, is for sexual intercourse. Wrong thinker. So you're saying it's okay to F our slurs? It depends. It depends. All right, next. OCD. It's not cute to say you're OCD if you're not. This disorder causes real struggles for people, and it's not just about being neat and tidy. In fact, a lot of OCD people struggle with organization. Don't trivialize OCD struggles by using this for yourself if you're not OCD. Wait, OCD is a spectrum? I thought, I'm a little offended here. I thought we had resolved this. It's a matter of how far down the spectrum of OCD you are. You can actually have obsessions and compulsions without them being a disorder. OCD is the official disorder, but where that disorder falls is a matter of how much it impacts your life. It's a matter of degree, not of kind. You bigot. You fat bigot. Fat fucking retarded bigot. Bipolar says many people use this to mean someone has mood swings, but mood swings are not exclusive to bipolar. No, they're just a hallmark fucking feature. This is a real disorder that has a huge impact on people and doesn't deserve to be trivialized because you're feeling moody. But maybe they think they're literally bipolar. Hysterical. This term has a horrible history discrediting people with uteruses. It's uteri. Uteri. Now, most people use it in conjunction with humor. He was hysterical. Hysterical laughter, etc. It's easy to replace this. He was hilarious. Wild laughter, laughing with abandon. But I want to laugh like a woman on her period. That is a laugh with a little bit of murder and malice behind it. And if you don't know this, like, look at you. You're clearly a woman perpetually on her period, no matter what your stupid pronouns are. Jason, you're a fucking, you've got an axe wound down there. We all know it's bleeding forever. Listen, we all want to laugh like a woman on her period with just a little bit of malice behind the eyes. Leave us alone. How dare you? Crippling/cripple. This is an ableist slur that has been reclaimed by many in the physically disabled community, just myself included. Yeah, you're a cripple. No, your anxiety is not crippling, it's debilitating. Or crippling. Like maybe someone with anxiety literally can't walk. There you go. Trigger warning, abuse, narcissist. Ah! Narcissistic personality disorder is a disorder that has a huge impact on people. Yeah, it means that they think they're the coolest motherfucker around, like me. Not every narcissist is an abuser. An abuser? In fact, they are more likely to have been abused. Calling all abusers narcissists is an ableist way to discount the fact that many narcissists never abuse anyone. Cant. Narcissist is one of the most widely given armchair diagnoses. Just because someone is self-obsessed or self-interested does not mean they have narcissistic personality disorder. And throwing the term narcissist around simultaneously demonizes and trivializes it. Oh, okay. Trigger warning, abuse, psychotic. Psychotics like me. Fucking thread is over. Wait! I was going to end the thread until I pre-read the next one. Just give me a second to contain myself. Okay. Okay. Let me read through this one first. Psychotics like me experience reality different than others. No shit. This does not mean we are inherently violent or dangerous. No, just our slurs. We are often more prone to being gaslit and abused than we are to someone else because it's easy to manipulate our thoughts on reality. This is evident in the fucking thread. Your thoughts on reality have been completely manipulated. Okay, trigger warning, anti-Semitism, Asperger's. This is the name of a literal Nazi who experimented on autistic children and used eugenics to decide which autistics were still valuable to society. Definitely 100 Nazis. Yeah. Bunch of 100 Nazis running around. Probably about 100 Nazis for World War II. There's a reason the DSM no longer uses this term. The proper term to use is autistic. Lazy as an insult. This term is disproportionately used against ADHD people and discounts the fact that many have executive dysfunction. If the task will not result in dopamine, the brain does not want to do the task. It's not laziness. It's a chemical imbalance. It's literally fucking laziness. No. I will not let this stand. I will not let this stand. If you need dopamine to do a task, you're fucking lazy. There. I said it. I've done. Look, it's done. I do all sorts of shit without a dopamine reward. That is the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. People, look, if you don't want to do the job because you don't get a dopamine hit, guess what? None of us are getting a dopamine hit. That's why it's a job. That's why it's a fucking job. You still do it because you have to. And if you won't do it to save your damn life and feed you, then you're lazy. Period. You're lazy. Oh my God. Spastic/spaz. This term originated as an ableist slur against people with cerebral palsy to describe them as incompetent due to their uncontrollable muscle spasms. It's incredibly harmful to assume inability equals inferiority or uselessness. You're not making fun of inferiority or ADHD. We're not all a little bit ADHD. No, we are. We are. Trivializing this disorder is harmful. ADHD people navigate their world differently because of a lack of dopamine. It's not all about dopamine, actually. Believe it or not, shockingly, it doesn't all boil down to dopamine. ADHD has all sorts of facets, and lots of people navigate the world just fine with it. It's not quirky or cute, and it's not just being easily distracted. It actually is. Spoiler alert for ADHD. It's literally being easily distracted. Speaking as someone who likely has adult onset ADHD. It's literally just being distracted. Attention deficit. It is a deficit of attention. That is just distraction with a better word. In fact, many ADHD people actually hyperfocus. Yes, that's the H, the hyperactivity disorder. They hyperfocus on things that are irrelevant, and they are attention deficit in things that are the basic management of their life. That's what makes it a disorder. That's what makes it a literal disorder, is that where people hyperfocus causes them to be deficit in other areas. They get easily distracted into their hyperfocus. Ken's counseling couch says executive dysfunction is a bitch. Worst part is knowing you need to get shit done, but still can't get the work done. I know. I took screenwriting class, Ken. I wrote an entire screenplay in like 4 days. 90 fucking pages of screenplay because I couldn't do it before that. Confined to a wheelchair. Mobility aids are freedom. I mean, I guess. I would beg to differ, you bitch. They offer a way to experience the world. Saying someone is confined or bound is putting a negative connotation onto what is a joyful thing, increased mobility and independence. Except when that wheelchair is literally decreased mobility. First person language? They keep, or person first language. Person first language? Person first language is largely regarded as unhelpful by the disabled and specifically the autistic community. PFL seeks to distance someone's humanity from their disability, but most of us identify very strongly with our disabilities. Even though it's widely taught in institution, person first language is not something most disabled and autistic people want. Please listen to the community. Person first language affects and relearn how to talk about disabilities. Wait. So I shouldn't treat Jason as a person first and an autistic disabled R slur later. I should treat Jason as an autistic disabled R slur named Jason. Is that what I'm getting out of this? Like, I'm not supposed to regard the person before the disability. I think that's what person first language is. It's regarding the person, not the disability. Holy shit. This person literally wants disabled people to be defined by the disability rather than their personhood. That's actually offensive to me. If that's what that means. They don't want you to think of them as people. Weird as shit, man. That's weird to me. Okay, I'm going to stop reading through this. There's a bunch left. Tone deaf, blind is an insult, moron, handicap, differently abled / handicapable, robot as an insult. Empathy. This word is weaponized to harm autistics and others who don't experience empathy. This is a real person. No, this is not a real person. According to them, that would be disabled language. We have blown past 1,000 likes without me even asking tonight. That means I'm going to finish this bottle of minor case straight, which is ableist because gays are differently abled. Minor case rye whiskey. This is done. Here's the last glass of it. Wow. Wow. That was a good thread. That was a good thread. Oh, I'm up to 65 followers on GETTR. Wildly underwhelming social media efforts. Okay, so how much do you guys love critical race theory? That's a thing going on right now. Critical race theory. I've done some videos on it. There's probably a lot more to come. It seems like a big battle. Seems like a big battle going on right now. Make sure you check out the stuff. My buddy wants to do a discussion on critical race theory with me. And I think he agrees with me on critical race theory. I think so. And so I'm thinking about doing it. I don't know. I don't know if people want to see a discussion about critical race theory from two people who kind of agree on it. I don't know. Maybe. The discussion sounds like a lot like debate. No, I don't think so. I think he and I agree on critical race theory. You know, we both went to college at the same time. We both, at the same school, we took a lot of the same classes. We had similar education tracks for a while. And we've both seen, look, I know people hate when I say this, but I'll say it because not saying it would be untruthful to who I am. And whatever I am, at the end of the day, I'm always open and honest with chat. I think that critical race theory and other critical theories have a place in academia. Because academia is the place where you explore complex topics with freedom, with liberality, not with liberalism specifically, but with a liberal sort of approach to exploring topics. So I think that these things have a place. If you want to explore something academically, go ahead at the highest levels of academia. Right? Like if you're in graduate school, you've paid to go to graduate school, and you want to do a literary review of 19th century works using critical race theory, knock your fucking self out. Nobody cares. Right? No one's going to buy your book. No one at the end of the day is going to care that you did this, but you can do it if you want to waste your time doing it. Sure. If you want to apply geography theory, critical geography theory to something, go ahead. Nobody cares about that either. There are all sorts of critical theories that nobody cares about, and you can waste your time doing them. So I think, I'm at the end of the day, pro freedom and exploration. Go freely explore whatever you want to explore on your own time, on your own dime. I'm wrong because being critical is always part of science, but critical X theory does not allow criticism. No, first of all, we're not talking about science. We're talking about theories that are typically applied to literature. Like at the end of the day, these all stem from literary theory. It's literary theory is where they come from. And it's fine to do that. It's okay. We shouldn't prevent people from doing this on their own time, on their own dime. Critical dick theory. Everything is based on the size of my dick. Yes, you can actually create that theory. Yeah, nailed it. Go do it. Go do those things at your high levels of education. Not at K through 12, not at mandatory classes in liberal arts college education, not in STEM education. No, that's not where it belongs. It belongs where people get to explore it on their own, right? There's a bunch of things like that. Those are fine. Like a high-level social studies. Yeah, sure. That is a very different thing versus what's going on in K through 12 education right now. Okay? So if I say, here's what critical race theory is at the end of the day. At the end of the day, no matter what level you're talking about, this is what critical race theory does in the West. In the West, because it's going to change depending on where you are. Chinese critical race theory is going to look very fucking different than American critical race theory or European critical race theory. Right? We have different races. In the US, in the West, it says white people have created a systemic structure of oppression of non-whites. All right? And so, with that given premise, that is your known control. Like, if you're thinking of this scientifically, you go, my control group is whites have created a system of oppression of minorities, okay? And then you add variables and look at different things in text from that perspective. You intentionally choose that path of things to do, okay? And shockingly, what you can also do, you can do this also with critical theory. You can apply a critical non-race theory. You can similarly take and say, whites in the West have not created a system of oppression of minority individuals. And then you can analyze the same works with those literary lenses in place, the same writings, the same studies, and you can try and figure out what is going on with those studies. And you can compare and contrast your results. All it's doing is basically, in literature, setting a hypothesis, the same way you would in a science experiment. You've got a hypothesis and you go, okay, this is my thought on how things work out. And now I'm going to test this hypothesis and see what results I get back. This is what you do with critical theory. It's an attempt to be scientific approach to literature. Knowing that if you're in academic graduate studies and you go, okay, I'm going to look at writings of the 15th century, right? And I'm going to look with the lens that whites have created a system of oppression of minorities. And I'm going to look into these writings and see how minorities are treated and try and extract how minorities are treated with this perspective. Well, okay, again, if you want to do that, there's probably not a ton of value in it, but go ahead and do it, right? You're at the highest academic levels. You're spending your time. You're wasting your money. Go ahead and do that if you want to do that. It's not going to get you a job in most places. At the K through 12 level, kids are not exploring critical theory in this way. This is why it does not belong. It does not have any place in grade school education. All right? That needs to be made clear. I think people mix this up because I say that there's some abstract, far off use for critical theory that, people can go ahead and use this to attempt to extract different meanings from literary works. And I would encourage you, by the way, to read a short book or text that you like and use different critical theories. Doesn't have to be race theory. Just do it and see what you get out of it. It's interesting. It's an interesting exploration. It's all time wasting, but it's just interesting. But in K through 12 education, that's not what they're doing, right? That's not what they're teaching. It's not an exploration. And kids don't have time in K through 12 education to even engage it, even if they were teaching it correctly, which they are not. They're not doing it. That's the issue with critical race theory. They don't have time, they don't have training, and the kids don't have the requisite undergirding of education to engage these topics in a critical way. You can't get a kid to apply any critical theory to literature because you can't get a teacher to teach any critical theory to literature. You can't do it. They don't have time. The teachers are literally just fucking education majors. We're talking to adequately teach the very narrow and pointless field of critical theory in literature requires a doctorate degree and people on track for postgraduate English, or English or literature education. It's fine. Again, that's a tiny, tiny segment of people doing a tiny amount of irrelevant work. That exists all over academia. It's fine to waste this stuff. So don't mistake me for saying that critical race theory has any value in public education. It absolutely does not. It has a limited, minuscule personal value for people. And again, I encourage everybody, especially if you're a Christian, go read up on some different critical theories. You don't have to pick critical race theory, although that's an interesting one. It's an interesting approach to apply critical race theory to the Bible, but using Middle Eastern races and cultures, supplementing them instead of whites versus blacks, right? Because that's not really relevant in Numbers or Deuteronomy or whatever. Apply different critical theories to your Bible reading and just see how that changes the meanings of different passages. It's an interesting exercise. That's all I'm saying. It's a neat thing to do. Lots of people don't have time for neat things. They don't have time for it. And by the way, your pastors are all applying a critical theory when they teach you from the Bible. Every single one of them. It's just not critical race theory. Unless you're in Jeremiah Wright's church. Then it is. Then it is. But that's the beauty of critical theory, right? You can have Jeremiah Wright reading the same Bible that the Westboro Baptist Church is reading, getting completely different messages by taking your presuppositions into your Bible reading. The difference between critical theory and how people normally read the Bible is critical theory is taking your presuppositions with intentionality on what the presupposition is to the text, knowing what it is, and going there intentionally to extract a different meaning than what you would normally get. And if most people think that that sounds really fucking boring and pointless and a waste of time and they would hate it, yes, you nailed it. You're 100% correct. You're right. It is boring. It's a waste of time. You would hate it. Yes. Welcome to being a great, well-rounded fucking human and not a postgraduate English major. You got it. You graduated life. Your life will mean something. Guess what? The postgraduate English major, their life will mean nothing. You got it. Sin says, like reading Harry Potter and not getting Dumbledore was gay. Or reading Harry Potter with the specific intention of reading Dumbledore and every other male character as gay. Critical gay theory. Critical fig theory. Maybe you call it that. But everybody out there, by the way, who is concerned about this, and you should be. You should absolutely be concerned about this because this is, again, I'm talking this lovely, flowery abstract of idealism. That's not what's happening. This is being injected directly into public schools by untrained people with untrained kids for no academic purpose in the slightest. Follow Chris Rufo on Twitter if you're concerned about this. Also, if you're concerned about this and you have kids, get them the fuck out of public school. Get out of public school. Get out of it. Pat Max says they put critical race theory in every school subject through subtle means via semantics. Doesn't act as an elective. They're acting maliciously. Yeah, I know. Look, I will say, I'll go this far. Critical race theory does not even belong as an elective in K through 12 education. Critical theory does not belong as an elective in K through 12 education. It doesn't belong there. No critical theory belongs in K through 12 education. We're talking, it is an extremely high level approach to literature. It is extremely high level, and there's no underpinning basis for it. There's no underpinning basis for it. There's no reason to do it. Teach them math, reading, and science. Literally nothing else. Kids need to know how to add and subtract, multiply and divide, and then whatever the fuck else they can learn. They need to know how to read and write down words. And they need to know a little goddamn science. Maybe some civics. That's about it. What about history? I frankly don't fucking care what high schools teach or what K through 12 education teaches in history. Most of it's stupid anyway. They can learn history in college for all I care. Damn it. Personal finance, great class. Shop class, yes. Learn how to use a lathe. Learn how to use a bandsaw. Learn how to use a table saw. Do it. Most people who know any history do so because of self-learning. Yeah. Truth. Truth. Almost all of the history I learned was post-high school. Jav says, hard to disagree. History is vital. Yeah, I agree. History is vital. But the way they teach history in K through 12 education is garbage. So anyway, CRT is a hot button issue right now. Just know what I mean when I talk about CRT being something that some very select few of people can choose to engage in on their own time, on their own dime. Doesn't belong in public education at all. At all. There's a lot of things that don't belong in public education. Pornography, right? Like how to make a porno. Doesn't belong in public education. That's okay. That's okay. You can take a graduate level course on how to make a porno. Go get AIDS. Have fun with that. That's fine. It doesn't belong in the schools. It's okay for parents to not want shit in the schools. Actually, this is something I was going to talk about. So let's talk about it. Look at this giant fucking vagina of a human. Let me read these chats first. Lil Meme says, I hear about critical race theory and blackout for a minute. Just cannot get into the subject to save my life. Hey, man, good luck on 24-hour stream. I really like memes. Here's a 20 instead of normal twofer. Thank you, Lil Meme. I appreciate that. Matthew Arter says, Nick, I would gladly eat, drink, and make merry brotherhood with you, but how should we do this? Like chess, arm wrestling, grappling, or punching gut. Let us become brothers by your choice. Let's all have fun at Anime Matsuri. Let's figure it out at Anime Matsuri. Come find me, Matthew. I'm going to be roaming around. You will be able to find me, I'm sure. Find me, and let's figure out how to become brothers. It'll be great. It'll be great. All right. Look at this fucking fig. David French. Do you guys know who David French is? So people criticize me on the Kiwi farms and elsewhere of not being a good libertarian. Well, good. I don't want to be a good libertarian because I think libertarians are largely stupid, but I will identify as a libertarian. Okay? Because here's how I view libertarianism. Libertarianism is not a party. It's not a platform. Those don't work. Those are not things that are real. Those are pretend, and they're for jokes and memes. Libertarianism is simply an idea that you incorporate into your political sort of philosophy. And the idea is you start from zero, maximum liberty, and then you move the thing towards whatever is appropriate for society. Think of it like gas prices. Think of it like gas prices, okay? If you think of gas prices as reasonable at $2, well, then you've already forfeited $2. If you think of gas prices as reasonable at 0, well, then wherever the gas price ends up changes. So if you think of gas price, well, gas is reasonable at $2. Well, $3 gas, well, it's only $1 higher. It's a 50% increase. But if you think of gas as reasonable at $0, then $3 is a whole lot fucking more than a 50% increase. thousands, well, an infinite percentage technically because it's zero. So we go, wait a minute. No, $3 is not tolerable because $3 is an absurdly high price for gas. We want to get closer to zero, not closer to 2. I don't want to get closer to 2. If the market price of gas is $1.25, I don't want to be hindered by 2. Okay? This is how libertarianism is. You go, okay, I start with my 0 at no law. There is no law restraining this thing. And then we go to the point of where right now a restriction can be made. We don't start with the premise that, well, here's some laws that are okay, and then move from there, because then our 0 is down the number line. I don't like that. So that's my libertarian. That's what I mean by I'm a libertarian. I start from 0 on every issue. Okay? You say, okay, here's what maximum freedom looks like. Let's move down the number line towards civilized society on this issue. So for me, right, let's contextualize this with drugs. Do I want all drugs to be legal? Eventually, sure, right? That's my 0. All drugs can be legal. However, right now, we're way over here. We're off the screen. We're off the screen on where drugs are and drug usage in America. If we make heroin and meth and fentanyl legal today, we got a bunch of George Floyds running around dying all over the fucking place. Not a good sight. Not a good sight at all. You can't have meth and heroin be legal tomorrow. You just can't. But can you have marijuana legal tomorrow? Sure. Yeah. Can you work towards legalizing heroin? Yeah, you legalize marijuana. You let that sit for a while. You let people get kind of accustomed to this idea of a narcotic being legal. And then you move down the line. Maybe you never get to full legalization. It might not be a thing. Society may never be ready for that. But you start at 0 on the issue. You don't start at this should be legal, but this shouldn't be. Because then you'll never get there. You'll never find the things that should be legal. Because you've already moved your 0 to the right. I hope that makes some sense. Legalize drugs slowly. Yeah, literally yes. Society's not ready for all drugs to be legalized tomorrow. Cops aren't ready for all drugs to be legalized tomorrow. That's the thing. By the way, legalize prostitution tomorrow. Tomorrow. It's the dumbest thing in the world that getting your dick jerked off by a random chick for $50 is not legal. That is the weirdest shit in the world. Why do we still have prostitution laws? Doesn't make any sense. But anyway, so this is how I do libertarianism. And guess what? No libertarians can call me wrong because libertarianism is all about freedom. Fuck off. David French. Here's the initial thing. I read the New York Times op-ed on critical race theory laws from these guys. Before I say more, I have a question for them. Are K through 12 public school classrooms a marketplace of ideas? And do teachers have a right to inculcate any values they want? Chris Rufo says, file a federal civil rights lawsuit puts an enormous onus on parents. State legislation puts the onus on public school where it should be. The reality is that this kind of pedagogy is widespread. Despite existing civil rights laws, new problems require new solutions. Chris Rufo's right here. David French says, and as if that legislation is somehow magically self-enforcing, choice, competition, find and advocate for better curriculum, use existing constitutionally valid laws to prevent abuse. There are plenty of tools in the toolbox without resort to broad, vague speech codes. So they're talking about, David French is talking about bans on critical race theory, and he says Bans on critical race theory in public schools K through 12 are bad. Listen to the fucking libertarian, the lolbertarian, trying to argue that K through 12 public education founded by the fucking Department of Education, which is created by federal law, that laws restricting what is taught in the classroom are bad. Imagine this fucking dummy trying to protect this position. Imagine this shit. It's a public school. It is a government-funded indoctrination camp. And we're going to suggest that parents cannot argue for what should be kept out of the publicly funded indoctrination camp? Are you fucking serious, you dumb motherfucker? Are you this stupid, David French? I guess he is. I guess he is. He must be this stupid. You have lost the libertarian argument on public education. It's gone. You lost it in the 60s when we mandated compulsory education for children. It's dead. Okay, now our reality is this, that you have, this is the zero I'm talking about. Right now, our practical zero, our real zero on critical race theory is that we literally have a public Department of Education created in the 60s. We have compulsory, mandatory education for children. It must start here. So where do we go from here? Like, your base can be no compulsory education. I'm 100% fine with that. I'm on board with you. But right now, this is the reality we're in. So do we say parents get a say in this or parents don't? David French says parents and voters don't get a say in what is taught to the children. Literally, the position of libertarian is that the people don't get a say. That is baffling to me. That is absolutely baffling to me. Well, because the government created this institution, plus libertarian principles, parents don't get to argue about what happens at the government institution. Excuse me? I'm sorry, what? What are you talking about? What the hell do you mean? It's a speech code? Let's do this. Let's analogize this. This is how lawyers work. We work through analogy. Let's say your zero is full free speech, no restrictions. But the government has a specific federal agency called the Speech Police. They've got 1 billion agents. There's one in literally every town in America, at least. And if you violate the speech code, the Speech Police take you to jail, right? So your zero is maximum free speech, no speech code at all. However, your practical reality is that you have a speech code. Should you have a say in what is in the speech code? David French says no. David French says your endorsement of the speech code is in and of itself an offense to free speech. But the speech code isn't going anywhere, bro. Like you're going to you have the speech code. That's a reality. Now you get to define the reality. And you're saying that someone voting for what should not be included in the speech code is an infringement on their free speech rights. Nope. That's not it. That's not it. If we analogize this or contextualize this with abortion rights, for example, I am an abortion absolutist, right? No abortions, period. Fuck you. I don't care about your shit. Yeah, get this. Women, I don't care that you're... I don't care. Whatever your situation is, guess what? I don't care. I care more about the baby's right to live than I care about the mom. Period. 100% of the time. Every time. That's what I care about. You had every opportunity to not get pregnant, but you did. Now you've got a baby. This is where I am. However, would I take no elective abortions if we have to allow rape and incest abortions? Yes. Yep, I would take it today. And then I would fight the rape and incest abortions tomorrow. Because even though my 0 is literally full protection of life, I will take the reduction today. I will take maximum liberty of the fetus that I can get today and then fight for more liberty tomorrow. So I'll take it because, let's be real, if I can reduce 97% of abortions, probably more like 99, but hypothetically 97%, yeah, I'm going to do that. 100% of the time. Cyber Warrior, there is no choice between abortion or death of the mother. That's not actually a choice. That's a myth. That is a myth to create a talking point in the abortion debate. Something like almost all of abortions that are used to prevent the death of the mother could literally just be a delivery. It could just be a delivery. Tubular and ectopic pregnancies, those are a little bit different because those babies will not survive to term. They won't survive to term. And if you have an ectopic pregnancy, typically you're losing a good chunk of your uterus and the fallopian tube and maybe the ovary that had the egg. But the overwhelming, and I mean, we're talking 99.99% of medically necessary abortions, which are less than 1% of all abortions, which are less than 1% of pregnancies. We're talking the tiniest, minuscule, 99.9% of the smallest number are actually could just be deliveries. They just deliver the baby. Most of the time, you don't know the mother is at risk until something like 20 weeks. We have successfully delivered babies as young as 20 weeks and 3 days. Doesn't mean that the baby's going to live. Does not. But give that baby a fucking chance to live. Because you got a chance to live. And I got a chance to live. And it's shit that some people don't. Ariel Fetter says, without assuming some kind of quality of life, preservation of life is simply forcing people to live in pain with no hope. You don't know what that life is going to be like. You don't actually know that until the baby comes out and has lived for at least a year. There was recently a story. The youngest baby ever born, the youngest gestational age baby ever born, was born in Minnesota, just celebrated its first birthday. 20 weeks, 3 days. They gave that baby a 0% chance to live. Guess what? That baby's healthy. You don't know. They don't know. That's the thing. You don't know. You want to kill people after they're born? You determine their quality of life is not good enough? That's up to you. Figure out how to do that. I'm not that guy. I will not be the guy to determine someone else's life isn't good enough for them to live. I'm only in control of my life. If they want to kill themselves, I'm 100% for it. I'm 100% for it. You will not, I am for, like people's personal choices on euthanasia and all that stuff. Let them decide though. Let them decide. That's not my choice. It's not my decision. I don't get to decide what someone else's quality of life is. Cyber Warrior says, mother has cancer but needs treatment that will kill the baby. You need 4 weeks to give the baby the chance, but 4 weeks is too late for the mother. Options? I don't know. Find me that actual case. Let's figure that out when we get there. Let's figure that out when we get there. Guess what? Abortion laws aren't actually taking away. No abortion law, by the way. What we're talking about here are the fringest of fringe examples. No abortion law on earth says, oh, you know what? You got to carry an ectopic pregnancy to term. No judge is convicting a mom for a partial hysterectomy that also included the non-viable fetus that was lodged in her fallopian tube or attached to her liver. No judge on earth is upholding that conviction. That's not happening. There is no abortion law that actually outlaws that. It's such a fucking myth of the pro-choice argument. The reality is this. It's very simple. 97% or more of abortions are elective. That's it. And they're elective for the purposes of post-pregnancy contraception. And if we eliminate those, we eliminate 97% of abortions. Period. That's the reality. That's the stats. It's not, I'm not choosing those. That's just what they are. So my point is, this is a big tangent from where we were, but my point is, let's take that. Okay, I'll take that, and you can keep your 3% of abortions, and then I'll work on that next. So, Streamlabs is back, I believe. And we have a couple big Streamlabs in here, so we're gonna go ahead and read those. One from Bearnitz. We've actually got 3 from Bearnitz. I'll read them all in a row. It says, "Hey Nick, usually I'm poor, but we moved. Selling my old apartment in Warsaw with profit. Yeah, nailed it, buddy. So I finally have some allowances to spend on you. End of the week, we're going to search for land to build a dream home in the rural part of the country, near my in-laws, so that we can raise a family of 3. My first daughter is almost a year old, and homeschool them. Some of this is your fault, and me and my wife watch your shows replay during the day and got us through some tough times. So I want to thank you and send some freedom bucks your way as a way of saying thank you. Happy belated 4th of July, and all the best for you and your family. Fight the commies, make a family, and raise your kids right, people." Baronets, my heart goes out to you, my Polish brother. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. I wish you all the best, and I'm glad to have ruined your entire life. Felipe Movie says, "Hey, Nick, you found the reason I don't call you the R word. I know the lawyers don't send their best to YouTube. By the way, why your stream is looking like you're broadcasting from 1926. 95% sepia. It's just my shitty tan wall. I'm going to remedy it soon. What's next? No sound, just black screens with text like a silent film. That'd be a great stream. That'd be a great stream. Brian's Mech says, "Nick Rekieta, how do you differentiate your step-by-step process from the left-wing step-by-step process?" I don't. progressivism works. I don't know if anybody's noticed, but the past century is testament to how fucking effective progressivism is. I'm good to progressively regress. So I'm happy with that. Eldon Bainling says you couldn't paint your wall anything other than lame beige. Dude, I haven't had time to paint a wall in fucking 5 years. It was not me who painted this wall. I would never have painted the wall this color. All right. That's what I've got tonight, guys. That's what I've got. Whoops. Let's go ahead and read the rest of the chats, and we will go over to Twitch for a movie tonight. I think we'll have a good one. I found a bunch of good movies to watch. We've got some good stuff. Your gut tells me you had plenty of time. Oh. Thank you. Thank you. You can't make me mad tonight, though. D. You can't. Rowdy. I think that's what you're trying to be. You're trying to be rowdy. You can't make me mad tonight. All of your insults roll off of me like butter rolls into fat people's mouths. Commando is not on Prime. You are a liar. Tom, you might have made me mad just now. Commando is not on Prime. You can't fucking convince me of that. Nope. Commando 2, The Black Money Trail is on Prime, but Commando is not. How dare you? How dare you? Questing Face Off for movie? No. Okay. Hey, Nick, you're wrong about 80s movies and tits. You mad yet? No, because I know you're just incorrect. Roland Duvall says, read my email, damn it. Never. I would never do it. Big Lebowski was added to Prime yesterday. Now you're lying to me again. Oh, no, it's on IMDb. Sorry, you got me excited for a second. It's that's included with your IMDb with ads. That doesn't work on Prime Video, unfortunately. Oh, and by the way, I'll address this in the chat. Someone brought it up earlier. Apparently the secret is out. The secret is out. And by secret, I mean something my wife and I discussed on a public live stream, like well over a year ago. Very secret. And the event in question was from 15 years ago. But the secret is out. And so, apparently that the secret public live stream from over a year ago about an event from 15 years ago is out, and I am now exposed. Let me just say, if you think I am a cuckold, I will humbly suggest that PPP is cucked every time somebody in the world eats a sandwich. So there you go. I don't know what PPP's particular brand of autism is this time, but he's apparently mad at me or something. So he did a very expose stream where he exposed a literal public live stream that I did. So, all right. Good job, I guess. But it is always funny to see people do that sort of stuff. But yes, the fat mad is off his diabetes medication and is fat and mad. So I all right. Look, have fun, PPP, I guess. It doesn't literally discussed all of this on stream. It's not something that bothers me. So, Warski was with him. Well, I'll call up Warski and throttle him. It's not, you know, again, my life's an open book. I have no reason to hide anything about my life. It's rather uninteresting for the most part. But if you ever have any questions about it, just ask. I'll tell you. That's the fun way to live, by the way. That's the fun way to live. Don't regret things. They bring you to where you are. And don't lie about shit. Because if you lie about shit, you get caught eventually. So just be honest about who you are and what you do. Don Gamer Guy says, what thing happened 15 years ago? Gay midget sex? I wish I was. I wish that was it. It would be way funnier. But okay, let's do these chats. Mr. Rigsby Gaming says, I watched the Vic show the other day. There was a guy who said he needed to get rid of his super pass for Matsuri. I'm going and haven't bought a pass yet, and I'm interested. So whoever it was, please message me on here or in comments. I'll respond. Thanks. That's Mr. Rigsby Gaming. That one guy says, you want to ask that scumfuck lay to refund my tickets? My mom and I have been asking to have refunded for over a year since the date got moved in 2020. It'd be nice because we can't make it. Didn't want to be there in July anyway. Thanks. That one guy, can you email me? I don't know how else to properly send it to John. Joseph Kerwin says, don't be mad, Nick. You just forgot to wash and primer your models before painting. That happens. The chat is here to help. It is not. The chat is never here to help. That one guy says, hey, this isn't one of those shitty things you're not supposed to do, supposed to like with cops. Traffic stop, drug war, self-righteous attitude. Look, traffic stop, the guy's doing 60 and a 40. I don't like traffic, like speed limits in general, but the guy is violating the speed limit by 20 miles an hour. He's going to get pulled over. Drug war, again, I don't like it, but the guy's got weed. Somehow the cop knows about it. I don't know how the cop knows about it. Right? He just says, give me that weed. I don't know if he sees it. I don't know if he smells it. I don't know if the guy mentioned it or something. Doesn't seem to have. It's kind of a weird thing. But cop clearly knows about it. That's on the fucking dummy for doing it. That's his issue. Self-righteous attitude. Look, you speed past a cop and flip him off. Do you think you're not going to get pulled over? I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one. You're right. It is sad. This is what the country is doing to good guy cops who are just trying to keep society functioning. Sorry. Self-righteous attitude. Taking it out on the public when they feel slighted. I guess it's kind of funny, but only out of context. And then that one guy says, I take it back. Okay, thank you. This guy seems all right. I'm glad he decided locking this moron up wasn't protecting or serving the public that day. You're right. It is sad. This is what the country is doing to good guy cops who are just trying to keep society functioning. Yeah. See, that's the thing. That's what I was saying. I was trying to preface that whole encounter. It starts off, it's kind of funny. Look, it's always funny to see someone lose their shit. But, including me, by the way. It's always funny to see that. But it is sad to see kind of how the shit has impacted this cop. On a personal level, you know, if you hated your fucking job, I'd be sad about it too. Bad Dragon Knight says, my name is Nick Rekieta, and I, for one, welcome our federal social workforce overlords. And not just because of the faint glow I see off of camera. Malik Foxon says, that can't be for real book covers. It's probably a fake book cover thing. Some artists and communities that I'm in do fake mag covers drawn with people's characters in them, often parodies of Playboy mags and things. He might be doing something similar. The only thing that makes me think that he might be trying to do book covers is the fact that there are not set prices listed. Most book covers are much less interesting than faux Playboy mag covers depending on the community. There you go. That's from Malik Foxon. That one guy says, what the SJWs are wrong about is this moral panic around insults. Yes, people shouldn't be vicious and insulting in all their interactions. Claiming they're the same as assault to justify controlling speech is nothing short of actual malice. I agree. If they really cared about polite society, they wouldn't be putting themselves forward as rulers who must dictate to everyone else how to behave. Insults exist in perception. We can't all go around being offended all day, just as bad as insulting someone. And he also says, critical race theory, there's more variation within groups than between them. Race, therefore, is a failure of humans to identify each other as belonging to the same group instead of different groups. Yeah, like apples. How do you like them apples, post-grads? Damn. And again, apples are a good example. A pink lady apple is different than a Honeycrisp. Fucking fight me. Did Eclipse Warlord says, Subway cut my sandwich wrong. I asked for the U-cut and they said sure, but instead did a side V, so everything kept falling out. Just a disaster. They're garbage. Subway workers don't even deserve to live. Fractal Machine says, for Disability Pride Month, I have decided to identify as trans-disabled so I can participate in the Special Olympics. Don't be a bigot. Oh, God, that'd be so funny. Usain Bolt, a trans-disabled sprinter. Wolfgang Deo says, I know how to make Nick mad, but I won't do it now. More conservative with age says, I know you hate longer movies, but Tomorrow War is right up your alley. Far better than it has the right to be. I've heard it's great. Wizards First Rule 57 says, Nick, have an awesome night with a big chat. Thank you. Wizards First Rule, much appreciated. I will have an awesome night. Not applicable says, Hotmail not accepting GETTR verify emails. Bad Dragonite says, thoughts on Final Fantasy XIV jumping in popularity? Why? That game's old. Blaine 20 says, as a certified sandwich artist who served during the U-Gouge era and before toasting ruined everything, I miss the 90s Subway experience. My man Blaine 20. Bad Dragonite, Final Fantasy XIV, man. I don't know. I played it for a while. It's okay. The only reason I enjoyed it is because I had friends playing it. That's it. Other than that, I fucking hated it. 200 Watt Studio says, so even if the cop wanted to scare the piss out of this guy, he can't because he's on camera from the perp's car. Yeah, I agree with that. You should definitely be able to record a cop. But I think he did a good job scaring the piss out of the guy, frankly. ASO says, do you think that the footage could be used against the cop to make a claim he felt threatened or something, leading him to him getting off charges? No, I don't think so. I mean, he could try. I don't think he'd be successful. Cop didn't do anything wrong in that scenario except yell at a guy. He didn't harm him. He didn't physically intimidate him. He never said he was being arrested. He never threatened him. He just yelled. He was just loud. Fienticus Prime says, Final Fantasy XIV got popular because that guy that plays WoW decided to play Final Fantasy XIV. Okay. Kimberly Moriarty, pre or post rework Final Fantasy XIV? I had the pre-order. It was a disaster. I didn't play it much. And I played the post pre-work. I had a level 85 Samurai, Dark Knight, and I think that's it. I had a level 85 Samurai and Dark Knight. It was fun, but only because of my friends. Icon of Sin, I've not tried Brigador yet. Matthew Harder says, Nick, my brother and I got into an argument about George Floyd. Chauvin asked Floyd if he's on anything, and Floyd says no. Does his no answer break the Fifth Amendment? Right against self-incrimination? No, he could still choose to invoke his Fifth Amendment rights. He never did it. He never invoked his Fifth Amendment rights, so he never lost them. 200-watt studio says people don't understand what a high-stress job being a cop is, especially for the good ones. Matthew Harder says, Nick, I swear you need Rick Gore, a.k.a. Good Luck America, on your stream someday. He's like a 30-year cop, retired detective, and all-around trainer. He hates today's cops for all the good reasons. Yeah, it sounds like a good guy to talk to. I'm not going to remember this super chat, though. You got to send me like a email or Twitter DM or something. Red says, I lost respect for cops because they're used to persecute right-wing dissidents. Good cops already quit. A lot of cops are quitting. Quizzer Lockhart says, lies, Nick was level 70. No, I was level 85. I bought my Dark Knight up to level 70. I paid for it because I didn't want to fucking... I leveled the Samurai old school because you couldn't pay for a high-level Samurai. You had to do that from fucking level 1, which I hated. But the Dark Knight I was able to buy, so I did. I think you bought him to level 75 and then leveled him to 85. Is 80 the cap? Okay, 80 then. Whatever it is. Whatever it is. I don't remember. I'm not trying to be wrong. I'm just wrong. I bought them to 70 or 80 or whatever, or 70 or 75, whatever you could buy them to on the Dark Knight. But the Samurai, I played at release. So you had to level the Samurai 1 to whatever, which means I had to play a monk to like 50 or something. What server am I on? I think Bahamut. You're talking before the complete overhaul? If there was a subsequent overhaul to Samurai, then yeah. But I played a Samurai. I played Samurai and Dark Knight. That's all I got. Automata says, I can tell you what happens without him. Shortages and someone has to get out from behind a desk, and before you know it, it's taser, taser, taser. Commandant VHS says these libertarians need to shut up. Super FM 101 says, the thing I admire is that where other cops would just up and leave, he stayed and is willing to finish his time. Devotion and public safety we don't see. Nick was on Behemoth. Was it Behemoth? It might have been Behemoth. I honestly don't remember. My character's name was Dumb Idiot, okay? My character's name was Dumb Idiot. That's the best I can do for you. I had the thing from... I pre-ordered 14, and I played it before they redid the entire game the first time, because the launch version of 14 was so fucking bad that you couldn't even see people that were around you. Bahamut's a Japanese server? Okay, I probably played a Behemoth. I don't know. I haven't played it in like 2 years. But I don't know if any of my friends even play anymore. I didn't have the time. We were doing the raids. The one raid where the big motherfucker swings a sword and you kind of, like, one asshole has to sit there and block the sword, and then like little fucking sparklies come in from the water or whatever. I did that one. You know, the one, and you had like the 4 stages. You had the one fucking jester chick who like would separate off the chessboard that you were on. I had to do that fucking fight. Susano, yeah, I had to do Susano, and there was like a beholder fight or whatever, and there was a 4-stage fucking shit. That's when I stopped playing. After those. He skipped the story as much as he could. Yeah, I escaped through that shit. I never wanted to watch a goddamn cutscene. What a bunch of garbage. I did the 4-stage fight or whatever, where I killed the 4th guy like once or twice. I don't remember. I didn't like the game. I liked playing with my friends. Paul Poorly redacted says laws are not in place to protect average citizens from criminals. They are in place to protect criminals from average citizens. Nation without law enforcement removes those protections. ASO says, obviously, it will be the military police. There you go. Snugglestro says, Napalm says, found Rekieta's character. He was only level 70. Maybe I bought up to level 60. I don't remember. I was the max level at the time. If they increased it afterwards, then I don't know. Jim Beecham says, is there a better way to contribute to your channel without ZTube keeping a chunk of it? I prefer people join on locals. Rekietalaw.locals.com. If you want to do one-time contributions, really super chats are probably the best way. Otherwise, you can do justice chats through Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Rekieta Media if you want to. But super chats make me very happy too. Either way. Snuggle Struggle says, Dems like the idea of the guard taking the positions of the police. Saves him so much money. Aids their lust of power and people cannot protest. Walter Deadman says, so when was social worker spelt street judge? 200 Watt Studio says, taught that dude a lesson, probably soil himself. Yep, I agree. Matthew Harder says, someday, Nick, the roofs again shall speak Korean and the bells shall ring at freedom's return. I'm pissed that Tolkien is being canceled. Face Lord says, gamers, it's now time to face the north and recite the 14 gamer words. Let me start by saying, N. Linda Marie says, Saturday a cop pulled up to let me know a tire's low. That was nice. That's woman privilege. Funny Valentine 2024 says, I'm fairly certain these BLM/LGBTQIAXYZ++ up, down, LRLRBA people are using thieves can't for their pronouns. God help us. Sonny Gonzalez says, shit, I'm fed. Yep. Or are you saying you're effed? You're either effed or a fed. One of those two. Matthew Harder says, Nick, I lost 4 meaningful people from 2016 to 2018. My mother and father died of cancer, slowly suffering. I fear dying slowly. Should my day come, I'll make it quick and be alone, enjoying nature. Wolfgang Deo says, as a person who has been shot by an idiot with a bad trigger finger, trigger warning is about an absolutely triggering expression and needs to stop. Ricky Green says, whoa, with a big chat. Hey, man, says, I did join on locals, but just a reminder that you're awesome and thanks for the nightly content. Peace from DFW. Ricky, are you coming to Matsuri, man? I know Dallas isn't that close to Houston, but it's also not that far. Not that far. And if you do, stop through, take a pit stop in Waco and grab some goddamn Collins Street Bakery cookies. I'm going to get fat down in Texas, y'all. DCV Titan says, can't read like the black woman that was triggered over the name Montenegro because she read it as Montenegro. Sonny Gonzalez says, F's in the chat for my liver. Ariel Fetter says, the ability to speak is not a sign of intelligence. Qui-Gon Jinn. ASO says, I have ADHD and I'm lazy, but it has nothing to do with ADHD. It's because I'm a couch potato addicted to MMOs. Yeah, buddy. Svenger McSpazzy says, so I'm officially offensive now? Cool. Also, what did I miss with the con? Nothing. You didn't miss anything. The con starts Thursday. I'm going down Wednesday. There'll be no shows Wednesday, Thursday, Friday on the main schedule. There may be something. I don't know. But my panel's on Saturday at 3 p.m. Sonny Gonzalez says this crap is just retraded. Not applicable says, incoming quick. Tell Spaz Mike to man the turret. Andrew War Snowboard says, do people who can't pay their credit cards oftentimes suffer from attention debt disorder? Or is that still considered deficit? Still deficit. Crab Na Betha says, these people are now in charge of the U.S. People who think this way are now running the most powerful country on earth, which every other nation relies on. They're trying to break society. Spinobi Mach 3 says, decided to join the stream after work, and the first thing I hear out of your mouth is Asperger's followed by laughter. We need out of context clips. I encourage you to make them. Vienticus Prime says, as I pointed out a lot, critical theories fail because they mathematically account 0 for having no value, and scientifically it does have value. Neozed says, yeah, the critical theories fail because they're not designed to succeed. They're not a recipe. This is the problem, again, with implementing them in K through 12 education. Critical theory is not a method of education. Critical theory is a perspective of analysis that you're choosing to engage in, period. That's it. That's what it's for. And doing so with intention and it's a presupposition. You do a lot of things with presupposition. Look, I make a steak with the presupposition that's going to be good. Doesn't mean it will be. But I've made a lot of steaks. I know how they're going to turn out most of the time. Could be a bad steak, though. Neozed says, Fang might pull out of Hong Kong. Please make it happen. Rid the world of the Fang scourge. TCV Titan says, speaking of AIDS, what is wrong with California? Wear a mask or get fined because you might give someone the VID. Knowingly infect others with AIDS. Meh. Yeah, that's a weird sort of disproportionate thing. Seg162 says, liberty is becoming your own master, acknowledging that you'll always be a slave to something or someone, and you do well to recognize your master. Eclipse Warlord says, you should talk CRT with Eric July. Young Rippa. I'm going to set up a stream with him when I get back from Matsuri. Timothy Reaper says, my dad is schizophrenic, I'm bipolar, and my brother is a little retard. The thing that doesn't want to be called a person should crawl back under its rock and stay there until its brain wrinkles. Very smooth, brainy. Mike Hunt says, isn't the death penalty just a late-term abortion? Yes. But in that case, the death penalty is usually applied to someone who is chosen to conduct themselves in a manner that deserves death. Although I personally am not a big fan of the death penalty. Blaine20 says, according to one doctor, medically necessary surgeries which end the life of the child are not counted as abortions in statistics. Yeah, that's true. They don't call them abortions because they're really not. They also are exceedingly rare. Snuggle Struggle says, so what did YouTube say about your vid covering a certain audit that's transpiring? They were mad about the language I used to discuss the alleged sexual assault that's happening, which is very unjuicy. The video goes up tomorrow at 10 a.m. Today at 10 a.m., I guess. Poorly Redacted says, all real foodies have no balls. Don't you fuck with me. Been in a good mood all stream, Poorly Redacted. Don't you do this. Bad Dragonite says, 100% agree on critical race theory and abortion. Mike Hunt says, if we are born with sin, isn't abortion just the death penalty? Matthew Arden says, Nick, when we have our challenge at Anime Matsuri, shall I pregame to be weaker? Shall we drink together as equals or shall we be sober? If we have our challenge at Anime Matsuri and it involves drinking, you win automatically. I will gladly carry you back to your room. Eldon Bainling says, can't make you mad. Challenge accepted. I've DM'd you a link to a Twitter post that will 100% make you mad. It's peak time to make Nikki mad. Post by a whole ass country. Prepare to seethe. Not true. You can't make me mad today. Here it is. The China Xinhua News says, how a gun-happy nation spends its 4th of July weekend. To freedom of shooting. Death from firearm. Not enough shooting, to be honest. It's not a little Punisher shirt, I guess. Not enough violence in this picture. Very weak. Weak attempt from a weak country. Bad Vibe says, how do I like those apples? Applesauce bits. Craba Nabitha. Message retracted. Known Importance says, did you hear about California's new prison idea? About men who identify as women get to choose which prison to go to. 3 guesses as to what happened. Oh, I know what happened. Tons of rape. Snuggle Struggle says, I'm replaying WoW Classic and TBC, a 15-year-old game. We'll probably replay Final Fantasy 12. Ambience grew on me, and it's better than what the AAA market offers today. AAA market is dead. Don't care about it. Snuggle Struggle says, something about live service games. You cannot go and pick them up to play again later after the devs shut it down so that you play their new game. Matthew Harder says, so we, people in Houston, get you drunk every night until your panel at Saturday, 6 p.m., yes? Yes, except Saturday, 3 p.m. And I think that's the chats we got, but let me double check. Oh, shit. Nope, there's a couple. That one guy says, my favorite VTuber is Ozora Subaru. Was born with a hole in her heart and spent the first 4 years of her life in a hospital. She's also an adorable good guy on YouTube and behind the scenes. Give a baby a chance to live. Who knows who they might become. Well, look, if your argument is that babies could become VTubers, I'm actually pro-abortion now. Baronet says, you keep talking about food. When I was in high school, I was in a DODDS school. It was a NATO base. And I miss American junk food. Corn dogs, sloppy joes, mashed potatoes, and gravy. Yeah, man, mashed potatoes and gravy. Oh, yeah. Bad Dragonite says, people are jumping to Final Fantasy because Blitz sucks so bad. Even Asmongold has jumped now. A day later, without any sarcasm, a gay, furry, trans Blitz employee started a flag mob to try and get him banned from Final Fantasy for being problematic. The mob got banned instead. Baronet says, no show on Friday. Fuck, I was hoping to listen to a show on a 3-hour ride. Maybe I'll have something, Baronets, but it won't be at the normal time is all. Icon of Sin says, why couldn't Matsuri be in 2 weeks from now? I'm moving to Houston. Why didn't you go to ASIN? I wasn't invited to ASIN. I don't know if I would be invited to ASIN. If I was, I would go, but they didn't invite me. Phoenix Lord Asterman says, talk critical race theory with PSA Stitch. Stitch, I know he's done a lot of reading on the content. Also, Skyrim is for everyone. I made a diverse nation of equals. Now clean your Elven Masters boots, nerd trash. What the fuck is wrong with you? Skyrim is for the Nords. Not applicable says Shuba, 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 Shuba. Duck. I don't know what that means. You guys may have problems. You may be retarded or whatever. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Come over to Twitch. It's 2:30. We're going to do one movie tonight. It's going to be a good one. Come see it. We'll figure out what it is over there, and I'll see you in just a minute. Hope you guys have a nice night tonight. Matthew Harder says, okay, I need your cheap whiskey choices if we get you drunk until Saturday at 6 p.m. on your panel. We'll figure it out, buddy. We'll figure it out. Catch you guys over on Twitch, or I'll catch you tomorrow for the live stream. Have a good night, guys. Thanks for making tonight fun, and you didn't even make me mad. Peace. Peace.
Oh, he drinks a fair bit, but you realize that it just helps get his noggin jogging along. With his glass by his side and his kids asleep tight, we'll hear some lost-plaining tonight. With his microphone muted, we'll laugh at this boomer until he explains it's all part of the plan. Watch his face become redder as he becomes meta, raging at idiots from Twitterland. From the white shores of Nairn to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we have now. Oh, his lady is fair, and she handles herself with the grace of one who has borne many children. As the wife of a lawman, she makes sure that he has the time and the place to provide for them there. So pour out an Ardbeg, a Balmore, a Lafroig. The spirits flow as the ones who get unemployed. So pour out a glass for the T-post on Twitter as we hear lost-plaining tonight. From the white shores of Nairn to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we have now. Oh, the guests are all planet folks from Doug T to Drexel. They bring their perspective and spice to the mix. But the reason we're here and the one that we cheer is the one who is showcasing us his career. unemployed. So pour out a glass for the tea, post on Twitter as we hear lost painting tonight. From the wide shores of Nan to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the thought better than